Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. Today we're a little bit wearied because it is a massive card. Huge college basketball slate for a Tuesday. Huge NBA slate, huge NHL slate, and even 60 soccer games, which I look at too as well. Jimmy the Bag. So right around 2 o'clock or so, I'm going to be like really tuning out, looking at stuff. A few things that I'll be able to shout out during the show, Italy Serie B and maybe some South Africa stuff. So we'll see, but it's going to be a good show. We're going to keep a brisk pace and hopefully we'll have a successful show, Jimmy the Bag.
Yes, and that's what we've done through 2 shows so far. I had the flu or something for the last 2 days. It's been awful, but we are 37-18 through 2 shows.
Hey, take it.
Plus 16.71 units. I went 8-1 in college basketball with you on Tuesday. And wow. I don't know. I need a flu game. Like I went, January was the worst month of my entire career. Wow. And I'm looking at my records. Now, one thing that's gone wrong, even though I've been flying pretty high the last few weeks, is all the attention to college basketball, maybe some of the Olympics. I sort of stop focusing enough on NBA, and it'll cost you. If you don't put all your time into something, it'll cost you. It's cost me in NBA. But I'm looking at 3 sports here, and I expect to be in the black in all of them. And to do that after suffering through the worst month that you've ever had, I'm okay with all of this. That's the reason why I'm here right now. 2 o'clock comes, we're going to be in the NBA. So I know you'll be focusing on soccer, but I need you.
I'll be here. I'll be there. Yeah, I got some thoughts, you know.
Shout out to all the cappers rocking with us here. We got Res Mob Respect Play of the Day is Cash yesterday and UMC Wilmington first half. I have UNC Wilmington as one of the games we'll break down. If you want to see our schedule today, just go into the video description. Check it out. That game's on because I want UNC Wilmington full game. I just didn't quite understand why it moved a half point towards Elon. UNC Wilmington wins the conference with a victory today at Shar Center, and I couldn't comprehend the line movement, so I didn't bet it, but I wanted to talk about it. I focused heavily on NHL. This is a time of year where I usually succeed. Usually there's not a 3-week Olympic break, so it is tricky. 2-0 last night. I'm 251 and 251, an average line of minus 101, so I'm down 7.01 units. It's the best group of future bets I've ever made in my career. I don't want to talk about them individually right now just because that doesn't work. But I'm very excited about those. Of course, those aren't a part of that. NBA's all of a sudden become disappointing, 52.2%, but average line's minus 109. But there have been some VIG situations that have hurt me, some double results with more VIG. College basketball, I'm up about 20 units in the last 3 weeks. It's still not enough to get me into an okay position, but I at least feel better about myself. And I'm ready. And I wasn't going to miss the show, no matter how sick and shitty I feel. I wasn't going to miss this show. Truth Teller in the house. I'm going to start copying and pasting action. We got Justin McKelvey, Stacks plays today 1 and 2. We got our guy Fat Wally in the house. We are I'm 22 days from landing in San Antonio, and I cannot wait to see Wally, my man Wally. We might not see him until the horse track on Sunday. I'm not sure how he's going to work things out, but Wally, You're the man. And thank you for that here. I've copied and pasted this Justin McKelvey stacks plays that they wanted to. I had to also move on that Edmonton-Ottawa over. If this line, I got it minus 115. If this line's minus 115 an hour or two, I'm buying out of it. It just felt too easy. And if this line doesn't soar towards the over, it had moved about 10 cents. But it just this should soar towards the over. I've made 8 bets in NHL. I'm starting to run hot right now in NHL. Shout out to everybody joining us. Eric Mendoza getting the membership from Wally. Thank you, Wally. We got TJ MLB action. LA, Seattle under 10.5 and Dodgers money line. Let's get this all copied and pasted. Kong's clips in the house. I just saw you had another monster day on Medicaid Money. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you guys. Kong's clips. Spooner in the house. Guillermo Zertucci. What a great group. The Nuke Worker, Georgia State -1. There's let's get this all copied and pasted. There is something important, a couple things important that I want to talk about. Let's pull the graphic for a second here, if you can, Jose. Let me copy and paste this here. So there's something that the California Cappers know that I don't think our whole community knows. And that is our great friend Julian Cesario, who has been to multiple Pubapaloozas, was at last year's Pubapalooza. And he's just been a great friend of Peter and I since we started back in Costa Rica. And something that you guys don't know is that he had major open heart surgery as a 19-year-old, 18-year-old. Maybe that's 20, I guess, because yes, 18 years old. Yeah. And so
wow,
the valve that they put in, it just doesn't last forever.
Wow.
And usually it'll last, you want to get 18 to 20 years. He's at 25 years now. And he noticed he owns a construction company, and he was working and he was getting very lightheaded. He was feeling like he was going to fall over. And so he contacted his doctor, and that's what happened is that they used, it's pretty complicated process, but they can't use what they used before for the valve in his heart. They have to use an artificial one now. So he won't be at Pubapalooza this year because he is having open heart surgery. It looks as for a second time. Wow. And he has a 20-year-old daughter. She's starring in academics right now in university. She's in year 3 at university. A wife, a company. He's a capper. He caps nonstop.
Wow, and a great guy. He was so nice hanging out with him. Man, I didn't know any of this. That's really
yeah. It's important because as a group, we can put together real positive energy. Let somebody know when they're going through these difficult times that they're not alone, and that we have love for him and we care about him. And it's important. It lifts people up. It's yeah. So Julian wants to. He said he's going to lay down a video for us for Pubapalooza and stuff like that. He wishes he could be there. They're working on the scheduling of the open heart. It looks like it's going to be in April right now. But I know the California Cappers like Guillermo Zertucci and guys like that. They know about what's going on with Julian. The other Cappers don't. So want you guys, if you can, to take a second. Julian Cesario is on X. If anybody needs his X handle link, you know what, Jose, if you could pop Julian Cesario's X handle, if you could pop in the chat for people just to send a message to him, let him know he is leading by example. He's showing, he's fearlessly going into this, but it would help to know that there's a whole bunch of people that love him and care about him, and that miss him, and that when he joins us for Pubapalooza 6, it will have that much more meaning. So to our friend Julian Cesario, we love you, and you're gonna beat this, get through this like you've gotten through so many things in your life with fucking strength and grace and all the things that make you the great guy that you are. So, and
on top of all the things you said, he's also the lead singer in a Stone Temple Pilots cover band. That's not.
He's an actor in movies. Man,
the guy can sing. The guy can sing.
The guy, he's lived a great life, but we need a lot more of it.
Yeah,
we need a lot more of it. So I love to Julian Cesario. If you guys could take a second, whenever it works for you, let Julian know that we care very, very much about him. Very, very much about him. On another note, with what's going on in Iran right now, there's fears for the U.S. Armed Forces, whether it be Army or Navy. And there's many of them that are close to us. And the closest is probably Elijah Zertucci. And we got news that they're still renovating his ship. There's major renovations, and he goes where the ship goes. So it sounds like we're good for Papapalooza. And if Trump is right about this lasting 4 weeks, then, we won't have to be, praying every night for his safety. So at this point, it sounds like Elijah Zertucci will be rocking with us. But our hearts go out to all of the soldiers who are fighting over there to try to liberate the Iranians, to the Iranians, to everything that's happening over there, to all. Our hearts go out to those that are suffering and those who are trying to liberate and all of that. And the thought that Eli Zertucci is going to be rocking with us is wonderful. So 2 big things I wanted to get out. I'm going to keep copying and pasting action here, but we got to work quickly with a brisk pace. So that took a little bit of time. It was important.
Oh, sure.
I'm going to keep copying and pasting. So I'm at 9 legacy here. We got Miss Smokes a lot, Acacia ready to go. I'm just going to copy and paste for a second, then we'll get right into the National Hockey League. Do you have any shout outs you want to give, Peter, while I'm copying?
Oh, no, I just think it's it's a nice show that I decided to wear this hat. That's what it's all about, baby. Love. If you don't have money, then love sometimes is all you need. If you don't have, oh wait, no, I said that backwards. All right, yeah, let's move on. I got my whole brain is jammed up with soccer and NHL and everything. All right, let's go.
Yeah, to unplug his mic real quick.
Shit.
So don't worry.
Is that what he's doing there?
Yes, no worries there, Pete. But I do like your hat. No one can see it because it's saturated as hell, but we do like it.
Yeah. Oh God, lighting. I haven't even put any thought into
that. Check. Is that better?
You sound lovely right now, Jimmy. Yes.
Okay. Let me know if there's a problem there. Apologies for that. Von Polo, Matty Ice, Dougie Wise, the nuke worker in the house says, met him at pub twice. What a great guy. Yes, Kong, to everybody, to all. Okay. Now, when all of this stuff is happening in the world, what do we always do? We come back to capping, because that's what brings us joy. Peter Loshak, I've made 8 bets in this National Hockey League card. We have to work quickly because I need you for NBA. So let's roll. We start with Pittsburgh, Boston, set a table.
Okay, yeah. So both of these teams are very impressive, right? More so than expectations preseason, I think. And Pittsburgh is really rolling, right? They leading up to the break, they were winning most games. Boston split 2 since the break, but they're still pretty good. And I was thinking, as good as Pitt has been, this might be a Boston spot. I was thinking Boston at like -120, which is the first line I saw. Haven't seen where the line has moved, but thinking this is Pitt. I don't really know why they've been winning game in and game out and game in and game out. They're obviously a respectable team, an impressive team, but I was leaning Boston and maybe small lean under.
Well, first, very quick, shout out to Chang Kim, PSR Gold member. Chang, be great to have you in our Discord. Now you're in our Discord, so go to pubsportsradio.com, click account, and your invite will be right there for the Discord. Be great to have Chang running with us. All our actions put in Discord nonstop. Pete, I'm right with you. Now, the statistics for what the Penguins have done over the last 23 games are insane. Insane. They are scoring over 4 goals a game. They're allowing a little over 2. They're the best team in the National Hockey League. They've continued rolling without Sidney Crosby. And we see this. We see a group of players that are more than the sum of their parts.
Yes.
And I will bet against it. Look, it's special. It's impressive. This NHL is tough. Now, yes, you are going into the Boston Bruins. You're going into TD Garden, where they've won 10 straight games at home. And you're going to give me them at barely a pick 'em because the Penguins are on such a roll without Sidney Crosby? Look, there's no fucking fairy tales as Shawshank. Look, if the Penguins are going to run on and make this huge run through the playoffs, I called their bluff Kyle Dubas is an ass clown little boy, little toddler manager. Stuart Skinner, 19, 12, and 6, 2.76 goals against average, 890 save. 2.76 goals against average, 890 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Jeremy Swayman, 22, 13, and 3, 2.89 goals against average, 902 save percentage, 1 shutout. Pittsburgh power play ranked third, 26.8, phenomenal. Penalty killing ranked second, 84.3. Look, Boston power play right below them in fourth, which is why, like, when you look at how many goals these two teams are scoring per game, you're like, well, of course it's a 6.5. I don't buy it. I watch these games. I don't buy it. The Bruins coming off a 3-1 loss at Philadelphia on Saturday. They're a completely healthy group. The Penguins coming off a dominant 5-0 win at home over the Vegas Golden Knights on Sunday. I moved on the Boston Bruins at -117. I moved on the under 6.5 at -113, and I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And I'm not going to be afraid to fade the Penguins every single game for the rest of the season if it feels like it's a spot that I should. I'm not going to be afraid to bet unders, to bet Penguins team total unders. I just don't believe it. They're a very cohesive unit. We're coming off a 3.5-week break. They lose their MVP, and they come together as a group. How long will that last until the dam bursts? Right now, the Bruins are at -120. I think it's a wonderful price for them. I think we're very fortunate that the Penguins are playing this well. And yes, the Penguins can go in and snap this 10-game winning streak. I will bet against it. The 6.5 I got at -113 can be bet right now -114 at BOL. It's -123 at this very sharp offshore. It was up to -125 last night at this very sharp offshore I'm looking at right now. Bruins under 6.5 for me, my man.
Yeah, I will take both of those. And am I allowed to quote the big old time offshore sharp book?
No, we're not supposed to.
We're not. I know. I don't mean say it out loud. I mean just.
Oh, but quote the line. Yes.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. So I'm seeing Boston -116 and the under 6.5 -115. Can I get those?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Is that I'm not trying to take off market lines here, but
no. That's absolutely fair and square. So Pete, can you give me those once more?
Yeah, Boston money line -116 and the under 6.5 -115.
You're in business. You are in business. Let's roll on here. We have Peanut. He's also on the Bruins money line. Great to have Peanut back in action with us. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. Peter, Golden Knights, Buffalo Sabres.
Can you log into Pinwheel? I'm just not sure if that. I don't want to quote a stale line. I'm just wondering if that's the feed I'm looking at is stale.
Let me look. I will jump in here, but set us up for our next game.
Okay, set us up for the next game, which is Vegas Buffalo. Vegas lost their last two. Last was a shutout loss at Pitt. Buffalo won 3 straight road wins since the break. Now they're back home. The Sabres are for real as far as a very good team, excellent team. But Vegas, they should be okay. I think they've also started games very, very slowly, and I think they're pissed about it. So I was thinking Vegas first period here at a dog line. What do you think? And a lean under as well.
We found a -114 for you as well. -114. We found over our guy. TJ found it over at Circa here. I don't mind your Vegas first period.
Yeah.
It's always shady when I was betting on Buffalo before we found out that Theodore and Mitch Marner are sick with the flu. They're questionable for tonight. Mark Stone was lost to an upper body injury, their captain, in the last game. It's been a tough start to the road trip for Vegas. 3-2 at Washington on Friday. Then they lose 5-0 at Pittsburgh on Sunday. And now to make matters worse, there's this flu bug going around. I've got Aiden Hill and Alex Lyon. It could be very different. That's what I had, around 5 or 6 this morning listed. So I just wrote it down. It could be very different. Let me know if there's different goaltenders in. 8-0, 5-4-3, 3.46 goals against average, 8.58 save percentage, no shutouts. Alex Lyon, 15-8-3, 2.69 goals against average, 9.13 save percentage, 2 shutouts. TJ says Sabres money line for him. Buffalo, tough schedule post-Olympic. Look how they played. Now they get home and with momentum. Vegas has to play again tomorrow with the flu. Give me the Sabres, baby. Yeah, I moved on the Sabres at minus 130. At the time, 365 was giving me a better number than the offshores, which is a rarity. Vegas special teams are very good. But you start taking the best players off of the ice, and then, they have the 6th ranked power play at 25.6%, 11th ranked penalty kill at 80.6%. Buffalo power play 17th at 20%, penalty killing 82.8%. Sabres have opened up the post-Olympic break in impressive fashion, swept a 3-game road trip over 4 days, beat New Jersey, Florida, and Tampa by a combined score of 11-5. Now, as TJ said, they have a couple days of rest. They defeated the Lightning in Tampa 6-2 on Saturday. They fly back on Sunday. They're now just 4 games back of the Lightning, but Tampa does have 2 games in hand. For me, it's just the Sabres minus 130. Nothing else here. This totals a 6. It's minus 121 to the over. It opened minus 119 to the over. We've had a 2-cent move towards the over. And then on the money line here, we have the Sabres at minus 143. It's getting towards that minus 1 line. Handle it accordingly because when we start getting up above minus 140, it's a little more daunting. But I am on the Buffalo Sabres at minus 130 in this one, Peter.
Wow. Okay. I was just on top of all the other crap that we have to do. I had to tweet it out, so that's what I was doing. So you like Buffalo here, then? And I see that the line has gone down. I like the early line. I saw 6.5 under, but it's definitely moved in Buffalo's favor a bit, right? Look at that. Wow.
I'm sure it's the flu for Theodore and Marner. Also, you lose your captain to the upper body injury.
Yeah.
I think those play a pretty big effect, but Buffalo is a monster right now. They're playing at a very, very high level. They're going to be extremely dangerous in the playoffs. Their defense is arguably the best defense in the NHL. I'm sure the Lightning would have something to say about that.
Are they powerful offensively?
Well, there are some concerns there. I'm sure that Kevin Adams is sobbing. I mean, he put this team together. We said horrible things of what he put together, and then as soon as they fire him, this team goes on a run. This is his team that he built. Mm-hmm. Tage Thompson getting to play an important role for Team USA in the Olympics. He's going to carry that over. Like Celebrini is going to do. These guys are going to carry over that opportunity to play with the best players in the world and shine. They have size. They're going to be. It's going to be fun come playoff times. And the Sabres fans deserve a little bit of love. It's been a long time since May Day, man. So look, this is a bet on the Sabres. I fear fading the Knights with everything, with the flu and with the losing their captain. That's why I understand the Knights' first period look. Just not for me.
All right, I'm going to take first period under 1.5 plus 111. I'll shop around, see if I can get a little bit better, but I'll take that. First period under 1.5 minus 111.
First period under 1.5
minus 111. Okay,
you're in business. Let's keep rolling.
Okay, next game on the card. Brisk pace here is Florida, New Jersey. This is another interesting one, sort of similar to the Boston-Pittsburgh game. Which team? Both these teams not so good right now. New Jersey off a win, but they had been having trouble scoring and winning, and Florida off of 2 losses as a fave, both by 1 goal, but still. And I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking that I think New Jersey's scoring troubles are more real. So I would be looking to take not do anything with team totals or anything, just Florida.
I'm on the Devils season point total under this year. I did bet it last year and lost it, so I don't want to get too confident in what's going on in New Jersey. But everybody should be fired, especially Fitzgerald. He will be fired at the end of the year, but he should be fired, mocked, and never hired again by another hockey team. The Panthers, 2-time defending champions, are 8 points back of the final wildcard spot with just 22 games left. They're plus 450 to make the playoffs, according to Bet365. Irish King on Florida money line and Reinhardt anytime goal, and Florida team total over 3.5 easy. The Devils have been okay defensively. Now, I've got Bobrovsky listed. He's been bad, 871 save percentage. This is last year as Florida Panther. We expect Jake Allen 12. Oh, and Schmid confirmed. Okay, thank you for that one. That's above in the Vegas game. Jake Allen, 12-15 and 1, 2.64 goals against average, 906 save percentage, 1 shutout. Florida power play, 19.5%, ranked 20th. Penalty killing 8th at 82.2%. New Jersey Devils power play, 20.3%, ranked 15th, 79.6% penalty killing. Bob and Markstrom both likely, thank you. Florida comes in off its second straight loss, 5-4 at the Islanders on Sunday. Now, I don't know what the Panthers are going to do over this last 22 games. I'm shocked that they're last place in the Atlantic. But you have to bet them against the Devils. The Devils are trash and have given up. The Panthers are two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, and that took its toll, even though Barkov's injury, was, in preseason practice. There are injury issues. They've been a problem all season. Balanskis, a defenseman day-to-day. Seth Jones still in IR. The Devils are 3 points behind the Panthers. They're plus 1,500 to make the playoffs. They snapped a 5-game losing streak with 3-1 win at St. Louis on Saturday. This is the first of a back-to-back. They host the Leafs tomorrow night. It's also the first of a 7-game homestand. They're already missing right wingers. They're only missing right wingers, Stefan Nason and Zach McEwen. McEwen out for the season. Nason out for 2 more weeks. Yeah, I'm not as bullish as Irish King. Like, I'm not adding the team total, but I don't dislike it at all. I'm with them on these Florida Panthers. I got minus 107. I'm looking at a minus 113 here, where we used to play poker. And then a very sharp offshore, they just moved it to minus 122 28 minutes ago. And I agree with all of it. I'm not going, I completely understand Irish Kings move, doubling down on the spot with that team total. What is the full game team total? 5.5? God, yeah, I could get a cheap 3. I agree with his look. I'm going to look into the Panthers team total to add to it. It's not the team total I want the most, though. It is the Florida Panthers money line minus 107, Peter.
Okay, and I'm going to take Florida. I think there's volatility involved here, so I'm going to take Florida -1 plus 153. And I also, in my notes here, I do have slight lean Florida team total over as well. But yeah, I'm just going to take Florida one play.
I agree. I agree with all of this. Panthers -1 plus 151.
153, baby.
153. I like that look. And there are certain times when it's a pretty clean board that we're looking at. You see the games, you know exactly how you want to attack it. I think there are a lot of those games here on this card. I think there's a lot of them. I don't think this is where we're like really pulling back layers to find action. Let's keep rolling here, my man. Let's roll into Mammoth Capitals.
All right, this is a tough one. This is one, where if I was gonna bet games to go to overtime, this is one I might take a shot with. Well, Utah 1-2 at home since the break. Now they're on the road. Their last one was a shutout loss to Chicago. Washington, a good team, 2 solid low-scoring home wins to start the break, and then a 6-2 loss at Montreal in their last game, which is a bit forgivable. Not sure what to think here. I think both these teams should be focused here and competitive lines. And I probably won't give it, but a lot of people like to give games to go to OT, and this is one I was thinking about. Other than that, probably nothing. Maybe first period under, maybe lean under. Actually, no, under. I was leaning under as well.
I'm going to get this. Oh, sorry. We just have the free bands play today from Dougie Wise in the house in Wizards Magic. Want to make sure that that's copied and pasted for the Wizards Magic game when we break it down. Again, I think this is a pretty clean board. I've had 6, like you guys saw my record. It's not where I want it to be. I know where I'm going. I back the Mammoth heavily at home. And I want to fade them heavily on the road. And I not more than plan. I got Washington minus 119 here. I'm not sure what to do on this road trip. This is a very interesting 5-game road trip where we're going to get a better idea of the Mammoth. What I see the Mammoth at home is they have a sold-out arena. They have some snipers. They have Sergachev playing, elite defense, playing 26 minutes a game. And they, execute. What I see them on the road is a team that can get pushed around, a team that can be bullied, and a team that won't survive in the playoffs because they'll get bullied. Now, there's some question marks about the Western Conference teams. It's flipped. The Eastern Conference now looks quite a bit tougher, much tougher than the Western Conference. But I'm going to fade the Mammoth here. And how many times in a row will I fade them on this 5-game road trip? That's the question. This is a completely healthy group. Cooley's back, and Cooley and Gunther haven't quite had the offensive explosions that we thought they may have. I've got Vejmelka versus Logan Thompson listed. Vejmelka 28, 15, and 2, 2.64 goals against average, 8.99 save percentage, 1 shutout. Thompson 21, 16, and 4, 2.40 goals against average, 9.13 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Utah power play, Washington power play. They're very poor. Utah 15.9%, 29th in the league. Washington 15.5% power play, 31st in the league. The craziest stat for me in all of the NHL this year is the worst power play in the National Hockey League is the Colorado Avalanche. And I'm astonished. I can't understand, how that could be possible. But it's an aside. Utah comes in off ugly 4-0 loss at home to the Blackhawks on Sunday. So this is where you should back them, but I'm not going to. Washington had their 3-game winning streak snapped at 6-2 loss in Montreal on Saturday. They're currently on the outside looking in. They're 2 points back of Boston, the final wild card spot. The Capitals are plus 155 to make the playoffs. They're currently playing without defenseman John Carlson. He missed the first 2 games post-Olympic break. So with him out, Jacob Chychrun, we talked about how they're the only team with, I believe, 4 20-goal scorers. Chychrun being one of them, a defenseman. He's now in the top power play unit. Rasmus Sandin comes in on the second power play unit. And we are not sure. We're waiting to find out if he gets on the injured reserve or not, see how long he'll be out, John Carlson. But I'm on the Capitals here. TJ on the under 6.5 also. I think that makes a lot of sense. I haven't bet many Utah unders, but
yeah, let me ask you, what's Utah's deal? Because their last road trip, they did get shut out once, but the other 3 games, they got 4, 4, and 5 goals. That's a lot of goals.
Can you give me the teams they played?
They got shut out by Tampa Bay against Vasilevsky. Okay. They got 4 against Carolina with Busey. They got 4 against Florida with Bobrovsky, who sucks. They got 5 against Nashville with Saros.
Yeah, look, they're an offensive team. Washington is a big team. You got 2 giants in the top 6 forwards. Tom Wilson, you got Gunther, Cooley. I mean, Clayton Keller. Clayton Keller is going to be skating with a very high voice. These guys, they're not built to beat the Capitals. It's nice that you got. What did you get that under 6.5 at? I wonder. I think it's probably a nice place to be.
You got like 130. I'm seeing right now.
I like that. Another thing I've decided is to possibly let go of doubling up on my totals because I like it for the conviction. I like it all that stuff. But here I don't like it 2 times as much as some of these sides. So I'm thinking of tapping the brakes on this. Yeah, I kind of like where he's at with the under 6.5. I mean, okay, so if the Mammoth win, it's going over.
Right.
So it kind of depends how you see it here. Shout out to Dabby Cab in the house. Let's roll on, my man.
I'm going to take the first period under 1.5 plus 108, though.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I think I would. Yeah, it correlates with the way I see the game for sure.
Yeah. I'm taking first period under 1.5 plus 108. All right, let's move on. You ready?
Yep.
All right, next one, Nashville and Columbus. This is an interesting one, right? Columbus, of course, the coaching change went on a huge winning streak, but they've now lost 2 of 3 since the break. So what's going on with Columbus? Nashville's on a back-to-back. They lost to Detroit yesterday. In general, they are a subpar team. They can get a win, so they're not an auto fade. But in general, so you got a subpar team. See them in all sports in NHL, team that more likely than not loses, but they can get you a win. And then you got Columbus, coaching change, went on a heater. The break came. Now they've lost 2 or 3 since the break. I don't know what to make of this.
Yeah, you have every right to feel those ways. Columbus got the Rick Bonus bump when he came on, and then they had a 3-week break. They were the hottest team in the NHL going to the break. Maybe Pittsburgh have something to say about that. And now
Columbus is also on a back-to-back. I didn't mention that. They won at the Rangers in OT yesterday.
Both teams are on the second half of back-to-back.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And both teams are on the second half back-to-back with travel. And both teams need a win desperately. I found this game very difficult. At times, I was leaning and then moving towards Columbus, and I slowed down. First off, this 6.5 minus 118 to the under. It's moved 4 cents towards the under. We have Jet Greaves in that, so that's the better of the 2 goaltenders. I think this line is fair. Opened up at minus 139. acknowledged that this went down to minus 123. I acknowledged it. That's a 16-cent move against them. It's come back to minus 136, but it was enough of a move for me to question everything here. Noonan is going to be in goal. Justice Noonan, 6-7-2, 3.16 goals against average, 885 save percentage, 0 shutouts. I've seen him play okay at times. Jack Greaves has been pretty good this year. 2.65 goals against average, 908 save percentage, 2 shutouts. I imagine he'll be in the NHL for another 5-10 years and have a real career. He looks like the real deal. Nashville power play, 22.6%, ranked 10th. Penalty killing, ranked 13th at 80%. Columbus power play, 20.1%. Penalty killing 22nd at 77.6%. Nashville comes in off their second straight loss, 4-2 at home last night to the Red Wings. Shout out to our guy TJ, who was all over it. Nashville's 4 points back in the final wildcard spot. They're only missing defenseman Adam Wilsby, who's out for 2 more weeks with lower body injury. The Jackets coming off a 5-4 overtime win at the Rangers last night. They were up 4-0 going into the third period. They're 3 points out of the wildcard spot. They're playing without a depth defenseman in Brendan Smith. It would be Columbus would be the only way I can go. But, that's a pretty legit 16-cent move against them last night. And, it just gave me pause. I feel like Phil Eagle Flyer, you talked about a draw. I think this is well in line for a draw. I'm not a draw bettor myself. But I found this difficult. If this line had opened up 140 and it now is sitting at 152 or 153 for the Jackets, I'd be on them. But that move is peculiar. I've got a lot of action. And what do you think of that move, Pete? It was unsettling. I haven't moved on the game. You're muted, my man. Peter? Okay, you're muted. Okay, we'll get your audio fixed here. We'll get his audio fixed here. And then we'll talk Nashville, Columbus here. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board, 8 p.m. Eastern. Steve G says, I like Columbus in this spot and over the goals. I get it. It just I guess that move messed with me. And maybe I shouldn't let those moves mess with me. I completely see your handle of it, Steve. Completely. Let's roll on 8 p.m. Eastern with the Chicago Blackhawks 23-28-9, 11-14-4 on the road at the Winnipeg Jets 23-26-10, 12-11-5 at home at the Canada Life Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Spencer Knight, Connor Hellebuck are listed. Knight 16-18-7, 2.6.
Check.
Yeah, there you go. You're back in business.
Good. Check.
Yeah.
2, 1, 2. Check. You ready to go? All right,
yes, we are ready to go. So did you want to touch on Predators Columbus?
Oh, no, I was just saying that the first line I saw, I didn't see the early open. The first line I saw was Columbus minus 127. So I'm seeing like a move in their favor right now, actually.
What book are you line shopping?
I check, am I allowed to, I don't know what books I'm allowed to say out loud.
Okay.
I check usually the creator of books, the maker of books.
Okay, no, I hear that. I mean, the book I'm looking at waited till after the hockey game to open up the line.
Yeah. And right now I'm seeing Columbus minus 141 at that book.
Oh, wow. So I have this opening up at 10:32 at minus 139.
Okay.
It stayed there for about 30 minutes, and then there was this move towards Nashville. Columbus went down to minus 123. At that point, Nashville was down to a plus 109. Then it started slowly coming back towards Columbus at minus 127 at 12:45 a.m., minus 131 at 3 a.m., and minus 136 at 11:30 a.m., which is where it stands.
Oh yeah, I might have actually gotten that line from where we used to play poker. I've actually come to think of it now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing Columbus minus 141. I'm not seeing really a market move to Nashville as of right now.
Yeah, there's not been. The move happened when the line came out from 10 till midnight. But I was just, that move, I kind of understood. And yeah, I'm just hesitant. I'm hesitant. But I think that you have a big advantage with Jet Greaves over Noonan. So I still have some interest in Columbus. I'll just leave it at that. I still have interest in Columbus. But let's roll into this Chicago-Winnipeg Jets game. Chicago power play 19.4%, ranked 21st. This is best penalty killing in the league, 85.7%. Of course, Jason Dickinson, a big part of that. And of course, the Canucks traded him away for squad-ass zilch to Chicago. Winnipeg power play 18.6%, ranked 22nd. Penalty killing 16th, 79.3%. And line history here for this one. We have Winnipeg right now minus 154, and it's not moved since the line became available at 4:52 p.m. yesterday. Blackhawks come in off snapping their 3-game losing streak with a 4-0 win at Utah on Sunday. This is the final game of their 4-game post-Olympic road trip. And yesterday they traded away defenseman Connor Murphy to the Oilers for a second-round pick in 2028. They had to retain half of his salary. Defenseman Wyatt Kaiser's out with a lower body injury. Sam Renzel is day-to-day with an illness. All 3 of Winnipeg's post-Olympic games have gone to overtime. They defeated Vancouver 3-2 before losing to both Anaheim and San Jose 5-4 and San Jose 2-1. San Jose's loss was on Sunday. They continue to play without defenseman Josh Morrissey, Neil Pionk, and Colin Miller. Miller's close to returning. They're also without center Vladislav Nemestikov and right winger Nino Niederreiter. Neither team has a chance for the playoffs. At first, I was at first I had planned to bet Winnipeg. But as I sat with it longer, I don't want the Jets at this price, flying home from San Jose yesterday, and without 3 defensemen, 2 of them their best. And I don't want the Blackhawks ever. So, so then at that point, I was like, okay, well, if this is not, because I plan, like Irish King talking about, like I plan to be on Winnipeg here during this homestand. But a lot of these guys haven't been in Winnipeg in a long time. Because we had the Olympic break before. It just didn't feel right. And then I like the under, but the market knows that. It's a 5.5, barely juiced to the over. Turnsey says, I cannot see Winnipeg losing this, but I can't bet it. I understand that completely. Jamie Thomas has a no sweat $250 bet on any goal scorer today in the NHL, looking for a player. So if anybody has any ideas, we'll talk about it as we go through here. You'll want a game where there's going to be a lot of goals first off, Jamie. So I'd first look at what games you think will be overs. We'll give you the best opportunity for goals. You might want to look at the games that have the highest total and that the line's moving towards the over. Initially I would think, Edmonton, Ottawa offhand, but we can talk about it longer. So no action for me here in Blackhawks Jets, but the under is appealing. It's tough to bet 5.5 these days. What do you think, Pete?
We're gonna take both teams to score no in Padova Spezia, Italy Serie B minus 128 coming up in about 15 minutes. That's an official play for me. This one. You said you don't want Chicago ever. They're playing decently. Why?
I watch them play. They play accountable. They play defensive hockey. Maybe trading Connor Murphy will get him out of the room will help, but they've got one young defenseman sick and another defenseman out. I like betting unders in Blackhawks games. They're coming off a 4-0 win at Utah on Sunday. It's Bertuzzi has been awesome this year. Of course, Leafs didn't re-sign him, idiots. Bertuzzi's been awesome, but they're a one-line team. I mean, Nazar and Donato have done squad-ass zilch this year. They're an easy team to play against, despite having Bedard and a very strong penalty kill. But if you back the Blackhawks from time to time, you're going to get rewarded. They're going to give you plus money spots. They're arguably better on the road than they are at home, so there's spots to back them at. Yeah,
I was going to take a Chicago first period here, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets coming back from Cali, haven't been in Winnipeg for a long time. Like, I get that. I would, the Jets, Morrissey and Pionk are their best 2 defensemen. You got them out of the lineup. I mean, it just didn't appeal to me. There's so many spots on the board that appealed to me, and this one wasn't one.
I mean, yeah, they lost a bunch of games. I mean, Chicago, they lost to Columbus. Okay, that was before the break. Columbus, a juggernaut, lost at Colorado, totally forgivable. At Nashville, all right, that's not so great. And then they shut out Utah as a plus 275 dog.
Yeah, impressive.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want Chicago ever. What's your problem, bro?
I watch them.
Yeah. And how is Hellebuck? Is he awesome, or is he like you can get him?
He's a 3-time Vezina Award winning goaltender who just, played the game of his life in the gold medal game of the Olympics. I mean, but he's got a 900 save percentage. Spencer Knight's been the better of the two goaltenders this year.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll probably I'll take a shot with Chicago first period. I will take it. What the hell? We'll see.
All right, let's grab it for Loshak. Blackhawks first period plus 140.
122.
I still have some interest in the under. I don't know if I get there. The 5.5's not been good to me or to anybody this year, but Turnsy says, what is the Blackhawks team total under here in this one? Blackhawks team total under here at a offshore is, what the hell? Here we go. 2.5, juiced pretty heavily to the under. The over 2.5's plus 103. Peter, let's roll on.
I'm thinking of switching mine to the first period. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with that one finally. All right, next game on the card, Dallas-Calgary. All right, I haven't seen where this line has moved, but this is one of those classic, I don't understand this line. Is it telling us something, or is it free money, which it probably isn't? Dallas is on a back-to-back. They blasted Vancouver last night, which is now their 9th win in a row overall. Calgary back home for a 3-game trip to start the second half. They lost their last 2. All things considered, all things being equal, Dallas obviously is way better. They are on a back-to-back, okay. And the line was suspiciously low, like Dallas, like minus 120 or so. If they were off a tough back-to-back, maybe I would be like, all right, maybe that explains it. But it was a 6-1 easy game, so maybe they'll be a little bit complacent here, sure. But over a full game, they seem to be a full notch better than Calgary, right? How can this line be that low?
The line opened up against Vancouver at minus 190 around there. I got in on the minus 190 plus 140. It closed around at 365, closed around minus 210. Then they show up in Calgary at a minus 120, minus 125. I mean, on a 9-game winning streak. So yes, the line has moved towards the Stars a little bit. Irish King says, run it back. Dallas, big win. I don't know. It'd be a big win because you're playing the Calgary Flames. Peanut says the line was officially last time these teams played as well. Look, I just it threw me for a loop. Justin saying that LJ's play today is the Stars money line. I did how could they possibly open the line at that? Team on a 9-game winning streak, going up against the Flames who have no chance for the playoffs. If this is a gift, then I'll cheer for those of you who are on it. But and Dustin Wolf, who's been so bad this year, is starting to play really well. Dallas is the second best power play in the National Hockey League. The Flames have the 7th best penalty kill, so they're okay there. Calgary power play 27th in the NHL. Their penalty kill for Dallas 12th, so Dallas is strong. This is just a mini 2-game trip. They fly home tomorrow. They're playing without Mikko Rantanen and Radek Faksa, who are week to week. Rupi Hintz is sick. And, of course, Tyler Seguin out for the year. Flames open their post-Olympic break with a 3-game California trip. They open with a 4-1 win at San Jose before losing 2-0 at LA on Saturday, 3-2 in a shootout on Sunday. So this is their 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights. I just can't bet this. I feel like when you're in this industry for a long time, you see something like this, and for those of you who think this is a gift and they're going to hammer it, I wouldn't be surprised if Stars win their 10th straight game. I can't. I mean, why? I mean, they opened up minus 190. They closed minus 210. Yes, second half of back-to-back, but you're telling me that the opening line is 75 cents or 70 cents different? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'll cheer for you guys. It just doesn't make sense to me. And maybe there are gifts in this industry. Maybe the
I'll tell you. You remember when we were like Charlotte on the road at Chicago, and we were like, "Is this a gift?" We were like, "Nah, no, we're too sharp for that." They won by 40. Remember?
I bet them.
Yeah, you did. Oh, you did? Oh, okay,
Yes, I did, yeah.
Great, good for you. I didn't. I went
2-3. That's why I only went 10-4 last week because I went 2-3 in NBA. But that was a winner. It was the Hornets for me last Tuesday.
So that's the NBA version of this, right? Not quite, but
I don't. I just Nate says star smash. Look, go get that cash, you guys. Let's roll on.
By the way, I'm taking Chicago first period plus 122 and the first period under in that game, 1.5 minus 104. All right. Okay. Next game on the card is here we go. Ottawa Edmonton, right?
What was the first period under?
Minus 104. Yeah.
Okay, you're under 1.5. Okay, you're in business. Let's roll on.
All right. Ottawa Edmonton. Edmonton, crazy team, super high scoring. They lose high scoring games. They win high scoring games. They lose 8-2. They win 8-2. Crazy team, fun team. Ottawa 1-1 since the break off a nice road win at Toronto. And I was thinking, Edmonton can be great, but I might take them minus 5.5 here. But at minus 135 to win with Ottawa getting plus money, I'd take Ottawa. And, of course, Edmonton, it's been 10 games since they've gone under, so why not take the over again? And why not Ottawa team total over?
Well, I messed this one up, man. Huge move towards Ottawa. And I got the Oilers minus 121. I mean, now you can get them minus 109. Just a huge move towards Ottawa. And I did bet the over. I didn't want to. I just felt like, I've been leaving money on the table. I've been watching TJ scoop up this cash that I'm leaving on the table. I said to myself, if this doesn't move pretty strongly towards the over, I'm going to buy out of it. But it's moved 9 cents here, minus 116 to minus 125. And then, it's about all it's moved. I guess I can deal with that. Okay. Philly Eagle Flyers is over trifecta. I get it. You guys have been cashing on these Oilers overs nonstop. We're in Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. Yulmark starting for the Senators. He's got a lot to prove. He's looked pretty good of late. Tristan Jarry, Surrey, BC boy. I was, starred with the Wheat Kings, Edmonton WHL team. They won a Memorial Cup. He has a house in Edmonton. He wanted to come back to Edmonton. And in Pittsburgh, I was going over his stats in the year back. He had actually decent numbers in his career in Pittsburgh throughout. I've always thought he was such a sieve, but even this year, he's 9-3-1 with a 2.66 goals against average, 909 save percentage, 1 shutout. For Edmonton, he's 6-4-1 with a 3.85 goals against average and a 0.864 save percentage. Ottawa power play 8th. Edmonton best power play in the NHL. And Ottawa's penalty kill is terrible. Now, so is the Oilers. Not quite as bad. Ottawa's penalty kill ranked 30th at 73.1%. Oilers 76.9%. Ingram confirmed. I guess that's the move. This is a must-win for both squads. Ottawa comes in off a 5-2 win at Toronto on Saturday. They're 5 points out of the wildcard spot, and they're plus 175 to make the playoffs right now. Perron's week-to-week with a groin injury. He's been out for a while. Nicholas Matanpalo is day-to-day with an undisclosed injury, defenseman. Oilers currently hold the final wildcard spot in the West. They're 4 points up on the Sharks, Predators, and Kings, but the Sharks have 3 games in hand on the Oilers. The Preds and Kings have 1 each. Oilers come in off a 5-4 loss at San Jose on Saturday. And they just traded a second-round pick to the Blackhawks for Connor Murphy. He won't be available tonight, I assume. They're only missing center Matthias Janmark. Irish King on a Pinto anytime goal here. I'm on the over 6.5 and I'm on the Oilers. I sure bet it at a poor time. We've done so well with the Oilers when they're down a goal until this year. I don't even know if I'd want them in that situation here. I'm very, very uncomfortable with this market moving towards Ottawa. But I'm on the over 6.5 minus 115. The Oilers minus 121. Pete, what do you think here?
I was leaning Ottawa just because of the line at a dog line. But again, I would also have been interested in Edmonton minus 4.5 at like plus 5,000 or whatever. Not even plus like whatever it would have been. But I'm going to pass on this one.
Yeah, I imagine that Edmonton's not finished. Their defense hasn't been very good, but they need a forward so badly. So the Connor Murphy was a great trade, though. Second round pick, 2028. Hawks retained half his salary. I mean, that's a great trade. That's fine. You have to take advantage of now. We have the Goracle in the house. Great to see you, Gorky. Alabama alt spread -1.5 at +102, and Vanderbilt, Nebraska moneyline parlay for the Goracle. Peter, let's roll on to the next spot on the board.
Next one. This is a tough one. Tampa Bay, Minnesota, right? Tampa Bay had been great, but now off of 2 straight losses, and the last one was a blowout home loss is a huge fave, and Minnesota also had been great, also off 2 straight losses, and also last one was a huge home fave loss. So mirror images here. Look at this. Minnesota actually a small home dog, or at least that was the first line I saw. And I really have no opinions on this one. I have no idea which team is more likely to bounce back. I guess Minnesota. I guess as a home dog, I'd take Minnesota. I don't know.
Well, this line's been moving pretty briskly. Minnesota opened up a +1.
Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, you're right. In Tampa Bay's favor. Wow.
They got down to +103. I actually saw this at 365 at +105, and I thought about it even then. I moved on it at +120. It got up to +125, now +122. And I'm just going to be backing the Wild here. Now, I wasn't on them against St. Louis. There's certain spots, when it just doesn't feel like the right situation. You don't probably want them as too big of a favorite. They kind of play up to the level of competition or play down. We're in Grand Casino Arena, St. Paul, Minnesota. They're 17-7-7 at home there. Ski Profit in the house. Peter, our great friend, Ski Profit. Andre Vasilevsky and Philip Gustafson. Vasilevsky, 27-8-3, 2.27 goals against average, 913 save percentage, 1 shutout. Gustafson, 21-10-6, 2.58 goals against average, 909 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Tampa Bay, 14th ranked power play, 21.9%. Minnesota, 26% power play. Tampa Bay penalty kill at 83.1%. That's ranked 5th. And Minnesota's penalty kill has been weak at 77.6%. Big shout out to Big Zo, gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. And our guy, Sharon, who rocked with us at Pubapalooza last year. He was money, man. He was so much fun. Heard that he might be able to make another appearance this year. Respect and love to both you fellas. Lightning coming off their second straight loss, 6-2 at home to the Sabres on Saturday night. And they're missing some depth centers. Gage, Gonsalves, Dominic James, and Nick Paul are all out. The Wild are coming in off their second straight loss, following 3-1 at home to the Blues on Sunday. Foligno and Brodin are out for the Wild. Look, I guess it's like a drug. I mean, if you believe in the team and you're going to see a plus money spot beside them. The Lightning played over their head. Maybe they're just a great group, but the Sabres could easily catch them, in the Atlantic. I just couldn't help myself. You're going to give me the Wild at +120 at home. Now look at what the Lightning. The Lightning are the best road team in the NHL, 19-6-4. Look, I'll fade them. They're a very good hockey team. A very, very good hockey team. But I'll take Minnesota. I'll take Minnesota at a plus line against any team in the National Hockey League at home. I guess it comes down to that. So I'm on a +120, Pete.
Okay, I would pay free bet. I would do that myself, and maybe I'll bet it. I don't know. Maybe I'll add it. I don't know. All right.
Let's roll on, my man.
The next one, Colorado and Anaheim. Colorado on a back-to-back. They won at LA yesterday. Maybe they're rounding to top form. Are they really there? Not sure. Anaheim won all 3 since the break and now 5 in a row. All very close. And Anaheim in general plays very, very close games. They tend to get wins, but they're very, very close. Anaheim was a solid home dog first line that I saw. And I was thinking, maybe leaning Anaheim at plus money and more so Anaheim team total over. But definitely wanted to hear your guys' take on it before I pull the trigger on anything.
There's been a big move towards the Ducks. They opened up +141. They're now +126.
Okay.
You wonder what happened against Calgary. Why they barely squeaked out that victory. It's because they're dealing with heavy injuries to their forward group, and they're day to day. There's only one of them that's on IR. That's Frank Vetrano with the shoulder injury. You have Troy Terry, Mikael Granlund, who's captain of Team Finland, and Ryan Strome, who's sick. So none of those 4 players were in the lineup against Calgary, and then it's a tough game to win. So I need to know what's going on with those 4 forwards here. As I said off the top of the show, the fact that the Colorado Avalanche have the worst power play in the National Hockey League is astonishing. And as my only futures bet for a cup at plus 900, it makes me very concerned, extremely concerned. They have the 3rd-ranked penalty kill in the National Hockey League. Anaheim is 23rd-ranked power play, 24th-ranked penalty kill. Wedgwood, 21-4-5, 2.29 goals against average, 9-12 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Dostal, 24-13-2, 2.99 goals against average, 8.96 save percentage. Colorado on the second half, back-to-back, as you said, they're missing 3 depth forwards themselves. Joel Kiviranta, Arturi Lehkonen, and LOC Logan O'Connor. Ducks coming off their 5th straight win, 3-2 in a shootout over Calgary on Sunday. This is game 4 of a 7-game homestand. This is exactly where I'd want to back them. It's exactly where I'd want to back them, and I couldn't do it. Now I see the market moving towards them. It's telling me that who of these guys are going to be in the lineup. I think that they need them in the lineup. You know, shout out to our guy Dutch Boy Fresh Medicaid Monday crew, 8-2 yesterday. It's too bad my NHL 2 bets in the NHL weren't a part of that. Make it 10-2, but it's fucking sick. But here. I can't back the Ducks without these guys in the lineup. I backed them against Calgary. I squeaked out a push on the -1 line. Maybe it's worth betting here. I just need to know about those players. And I was going to bet the Ducks. And then I was like, I went over that game against Calgary. I was like, they need these guys. These guys, I mean, look, we're talking about the captain of Team Finland. We're talking about very quality hockey players here. Steve G on the Ducks plus 1.5. So it's Ducks, or no action. I don't know if I get there.
Yeah. And I'm going to pass. Colorado does seem like they get a little defensive oriented on the road, holding teams down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's...
Not too
bad. They're just not scoring power play goals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All right, I'll pass. All right, next game on the card is scroll, where are we? Next game on the card is Montreal and San Jose. Montreal have a big win at home against Washington. That was a bounce back for them after a loss. San Jose, nice, off of 2 straight wins. They beat Edmonton, they beat Winnipeg, and they weren't a huge dog in either of those. So San Jose getting a lot of market respect now. Both these teams pretty good right now. And as a small home dog, I thought San Jose would definitely be where I would go with a free play. I didn't pull the trigger on it, though, and maybe it's moved. I haven't even checked.
I was hesitant to pull the trigger. This is our last game in NHL before we get into college basketball. Roll through those games and then into NBA. 10 p.m. Eastern, the Montreal Canadiens 33-17-9, 16-6-7 on the road. Sharks 16-10-3 at home. SAP Center in San Jose, California. Counting down the days for me to cash my Sharks team total over. Counting down the days to cash my Ducks make the playoffs. Ducks team total over. I'm excited to show everybody my futures, but I just doesn't work well when I show anybody anything early that I think is going to cash. Dobish, 19-5-4, 2.92 goals against average, 8.93 save percentage, starting to play better. Yaroslav asks about me. I don't know if he's going to be in net. I had Askarov listed, 18-16-2, 3.53 goals against average, 8.87 save percentage. Montreal power play ranked 7th, 24.3%. Penalty killing 25th, 77.1%. San Jose power play 18th at 19.6%. Their penalty killing 19th, 78.9%. Habs coming off 6-2 win at home over the Capitals on Saturday. So this is game 1 of a 3-game California road trip. Joe Veleno is sick, but they're a healthy group other than that. Sharks coming off their 2nd straight win, 2-1 in overtime at home over the Jets on Sunday. This is game 4 of a crucial 7-game homestand. They've got some tough road trips ahead of them to close out the season. They're 4 points back of the Oilers with 3 games in hand. Ty Dellandrea is week to week with a lower body injury. Irish King, looking at Sharks money line and Celebrini anytime goal. Steve G on Montreal money line. I couldn't find an edge here. This line opened up with the Habs at -127, dropped down to -122, came up to more than 135, sitting at 133, 6 cents of movement towards them. From a total standpoint here, this is a 6.5 -115 to the over. If there was a game I'd want to watch the most, just from a fan perspective, I mean, maybe Ottawa, Edmonton, but it's Montreal, San Jose. The young players on this ice rink are incredible. It's going to be a great game, but I couldn't find an edge here personally. I stayed off of the spot. Is there anything that interests you here, Pete?
No, I'm going to pass.
Sean Pulliam on San Jose money line here. We have Dutch Boy Fresh here moving on the Pelicanos plus 8.5, minus 102. He's been handing out nonstop winners on this show. Last week was uncanny, man, day after day. Let's get that copied and pasted so we can discuss it here. And then the only other thing on Steve G. Caulfield anytime goal. God, it'd be a fun game to watch, man. Those 50,000 Sharks fans in the world are very lucky. We did talk about that Edmonton Oilers, Ottawa Senators spot, and that was Stack's play of the day, number 2. We won't get a chance to talk about number 1. It's the TCU game. It's not part of our college basketball schedule, but Stack's play of the day, number 2, is the over 6.5 in that Edmonton-Ottawa game. I'm rocking with them. I'm nervous about it. But Stacks play day number 2 in business. It's the over 6.5 in Oilers Senators.
Stacks.
So, Peter, let's do a quick review of our National Hockey League action here for Tuesday, March 3rd. We'll start with you, my man.
Okay, so I got writing a bunch. I'm taking Bruins money line minus 114, and that game under 6.5 minus 115. Vegas Buffalo first period under 1.5 plus 111. Florida Panthers minus 1 plus 153. Utah Washington first period under 1.5 plus 108. Blackhawks first period money line plus 122, and that game first period under 1.5 minus 104.
I like it. Here are the 8 bets. Well, here, I'll give you like this. I made 4 bets last night around 9 p.m. That was Bruins minus 117, Pittsburgh Boston under 6.5 minus 113, Sabres minus 130, Ottawa Edmonton over 6.5. So those were spots I felt like I needed to get in. I probably didn't need the Pittsburgh Boston under, but then this morning I moved on the Panthers minus 107, moved on the Capitals minus 119, the Oilers minus 121, and the Wild at plus 120. So then for the additions that we spoke of that did appeal to me are the Panthers team total over. Interests me. The Mammoth Capitals under 6.5. I think I probably get there. I want to see this line now move to the Blue Jackets. I know books are telling us different stories. I'll study it some more afterwards. Then I am interested in the under in Chicago, Winnipeg. Like a 2-1, 3-1 game. It wouldn't surprise me. It's just those 5.5s are so fucking scary to press the button on, man. And then that's that. Oh, I do have some question marks around the Ducks. If I knew, that Granlund was in, I mean, I guess they're kind of intimating that Strome's going to be back from the illness. I don't expect Vetrano to be in. It sounds like some of these guys are in with this line move towards the Ducks. And then that's it for me. After having such a bad January, which was, based upon college basketball, I couldn't get college basketball out of my mind. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I got back 20 units and I need to get back more to fix it. But now, though, my main focus is going to be on the National Hockey League. It's my bread and butter. It's my highest unit size. And it's time. It's time now to succeed at a level that I'm comfortable with. And so I'm taking this shit real seriously now. And not that I wasn't before, but I just feel like we've so much sample size. There's not much time left. We have to take advantage of the games that we do have. So I hope that I can deliver for you guys. It means a lot to me that I do. Thank you for the kind words, Steve G, my man, and Big Zo. Time to get into college basketball, my friend. Time to get into college basketball. You ready to rock?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to need 1 second here. 1 second to set this up. Okay, let's set this all up here. And the first game on the board also is a corner of Spooner and Bag Boulevard. And this was the only bet I made last night. As I've been going through my action, in college basketball, I don't think I should get too caught up in the bets I make the night before. Friday was an interesting example. I was messaging TJ about it. The 5 bets I brought to the show on Friday went 0-5. The 15 bets that I made from working with you guys on the show, I went 12-3. So, but this one was screaming at me, and it is our first spot on the board here. Spooner is with me. Spooner got Monmouth -3.5 at -120. I got Monmouth myself -4 at -110. And I didn't know Spooner's card. I've been real sick, so I didn't know that. Haven't been online, and I didn't know Spooner's action until I got here. But there is a reason why Monmouth has turned it around. 5-2 over their last 7, and it's point guard eligibility. And he's a hell of a point guard. 7 games. He's clearly their best player. Let me just move over to my notes here. For this one, Monmouth Hawks 16-14, 10-7 in the CAA. Northeastern Huskies 6-22, 2-15 in the CAA. We're at the Cabot Center in Boston, Massachusetts. So the Hawks are 5-2 since Kavion McLean became eligible. Those losses were tight ones on the road against UNC Wilmington and Charleston. They're beating all the other teams. They're tied for 4th place in the Coastal standings. So the finale is right here at Northeastern. And that 4 seed matters in the CAA because the top 4 seeds get buys into the CAA quarterfinals. It's massively important. Of course, that all takes place at Care First Arena in Washington, D.C., March 8th. So what has to happen? Monmouth take care of business at Northeastern. Drexel loses to Hofstra. And there you go. Monmouth will be that 4th seed. Northeastern is a weak basketball team. By far bottom of the conference. This game is meaningless to them. They can't move up. They can't do shit. But Monmouth can get that 4th seed. They're coming off destroying Elon by 16 at home. They beat Stony Brook by 13 at home. Now you could say, well, where were those last 2 losses? They came on the road. But again, we just touched upon that was Charleston, UNC Wilmington. They beat Drexel by 20. They beat Drexel by 20 on the road. That was McLean's 2nd game back. McLean's played 7 games, and now Monmouth looks like a beast. Pick the pros and points. Spartalis, the big man for Monmouth, has stepped up big. So I got -4 on Monmouth. Let's take a look at it's senior night for Northeastern as well, as Spooner is mentioning. And that's gone really well for me. That's been a big part of backing teams on senior nights. But here, there's just too much on the line for the better basketball team for me. Let's grab the line history here. We have a 4.5 right now. Damn, this was a 5. It was a flat 5 at 10:53 last night, which made me happy. But we're back at 4.5. Still a half-point move towards Monmouth. From a total scenario here, we have a 151.5, a 3-point move to the over. So I guess you're right. I guess I shouldn't say there's nothing to play for, even though they can't move their seating because it is senior night. There's Deacon in the house. Great to see you. Deacon M the Great in the house. Thank you guys for joining us. Monmouth Hawks. Spooner got the -3.5, -120. Got the -4, -110. This is the only bet I made last night. Peter, what are your thoughts here?
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like you said, Northeastern is legitimately terrible. But I just, are they going to fight? I looked at the game. I thought about it. What you said are my notes, but I can't pull the trigger on it. But I do hope you cash, and it might be one of those obvious, in retrospect, plays.
We shall see. We shall see. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. So I've made 4 bets. I added 3 that I thought I needed to make. And the rest of them I'm very interested in and want to hear from you guys. This is the first one that I want to hear from you guys. I know it's a huge number, but I want Virginia after getting dusted by Duke. I want them pretty bad. 7 p.m. Eastern with Wake Forest Deacons, 15-14, 6-10 in the ACC. They're at the Virginia Cavaliers, 25-4, 13-3 in the ACC. Let's move over here. Let's get into the line history here for this one. and also the cash flow as well. It's a big school, so we're going to get action here. Let me just pull up the board here. So first off, on the spread, okay, we'll start with the total. Here we go. What the hell? I don't know why it's not popping up here. Let me grab it here. 7 p.m. start. They got 148.5 here listed, but why the hell? Here we go. 148. Opened up 148.5. Now it's a 148, and we get to the point spread here, and it's a huge number. It's a huge number, but this is an embarrassed Virginia squad. When you play the worst team, in the conference, what you want, and arguably, I mean, maybe not the worst team, but you just want accountability. And here is where I believe you will get said accountability. God, it's already a 15 now. Oh, yeah, it's 15. Damn it. This was a 14 last I'd left it. So it moved a half point towards Wake Forest. That's why I didn't bet it. I was like, I'll wait on this one. But now we're dealing with a big 15, which I still think they can get to. When we get to the cash flow here, we have 61% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on Virginia, 86% of tickets on the under, 82% of cash on the over. Virginia was rolling before that loss, and it was a bad loss. Duke destroyed them. Wake Forest comes off beating Syracuse at home, 88-83. It snapped their 2-game losing streak, makes them feel a little bit better about themselves. And, this is their lone meeting with Virginia. I'm interested. Do you think it's too big of a number, Pete? Take it away.
No, I don't. I agree with you. I think I am going to use the old first half money line as a parlay leg. Do a few of those in today's card. I think it's definitely a good Virginia spot, and even with the big line, I agree with you. It's definitely treacherous, only a small edge if there is one, but I agree with you in general, definitely.
Now it's moved to 15. Should probably pull the trigger here. Going over action from our cappers in the chat. You know what will help me is if I move these, get Twisted's action, get Spooner's action, get a 9 Legacies action, and bring it down. Here, let me cut it here and bring it down to the college. So I don't need to go through all the pages and pages of NHL notes. Okay, let's move on to the next spot on the board here because we have more action from cappers in our chat. We have Spooner, who has said, I don't need no stinking points. Clemson money line plus 146. We have Twisted 24/7 Clemson plus 4, which I find so interesting, Peter, because I had interest in North Carolina. Now I'm extremely thankful that I've not moved on it, but I certainly was interested in them. This is, senior night for the Tar Heels. They've won 3 straight games. It took a while to get comfortable without Wilson in the lineup, and it feels like they have. And then I thought this was probably the right time to fade Clemson because they'd gotten over that 4-game losing streak, beating Louisville at home, feeling better about themselves. It was a pretty ugly losing streak. They lose by 10 at home to Virginia Tech. They lose by 13 at Duke. Nothing wrong with that, with Duke's playing. They lose by 8 at Wake Forest. That's ugly. They lose by 5 at home to Florida State. Then they beat Louisville. It just felt like maybe this was the right time to move on this. And now with Twisted and Spooner on the other side, maybe not. This line, it depends where you looked at it. Like where we used to play poker, this opened up at 3 and it moved to 3.5 to North Carolina. But then at a very sharp Costa Rican book, opens up at 4.5 at 5:19 p.m. And it starts briskly moving towards Clemson at the 4.5, moves to a 4, 3.5 to a 3 in the first 5 hours it was available. Bring it back to 4. Now they're sitting at a 3.5. It felt that this all was difficult. Wanted to talk it out and hear from everybody. And thankful that I've done that. Would not want to be sitting here necessarily with North Carolina. 68% of tickets, 52% of cash on North Carolina. Circa hanging at 3.5. They opened it at 3, moved it to 4, back to a 3.5. This total opened up at circa 142.5. It's down to a 141. Coin says Duke on deck for North Carolina, the spot of all spots. Big Zo says Duke game isn't until Saturday. Matty I says the emphasis put on the North Carolina look-ahead game. North Carolina will smash here. Interesting. No, Nasty Nate, we just don't have time to go over all of them. We have about 15 games or so. I apologize. There's some big games later in the evening, so I apologize here. Pick the pros and Pony says Clemson was sharp earlier this year, but have limped to the wire. Tony Dale, thank you for the kind words. Take it away for us here, Pete. What do you think of this spot? Twisted and Spooner on the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, I was leaning UNC as well. It looks like the line has moved in Clemson's favor, though. That hasn't it?
I guess it depends where you look at BOL at 3 to 3.5, but
yeah, I was thinking that UNC is rounding to form a pretty nice little team there, nice little fucking team, but don't like to see those guys on the other side, and then the market kind of backing them up. So yeah, maybe I have a bad read on that.
I'm gonna have to take a second. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I wanted to get reinforcement that North Carolina was the side. Matty Guy says this is a UNC smash spot. Let's take a second here. The game's going to clearly need more time. He says he's not worried at all. Let's talk about our guy, Matty Ice, and switch gears for a second because we do know that Taint is in. Taint play today is Buffalo minus 3.5. This is right from Matty Ice. He says Eastern Michigan has nothing to play for. Buffalo must win to make the MAC tourney. It's senior night, and Buffalo has 4 key seniors. Let's eat, says Matty Ice. What do you think of Taint here?
Let me see. I was looking at Clemson UNC. I was kind of liking UNC, but look at this. It has moved a little bit. UNC's pretty well. Why? And Spoons likes them just to win outright. Clemson, right?
Clemson money line. Don't need no stinking points. Quote unquote.
Maybe they got it together. Maybe they got it together after that Louisville game. Is there something that changed internally that I'm not aware of for them?
Los Chudy also says Clemson plus the points. Says UNC is Duke on deck.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
it's 5 days away.
Oh, no. Yeah, is that why? Everyone likes Clemson because UNC has Duke next?
That's one of the angles that everybody's touching when they say why they're on Clemson.
Wow.
It's a long time away. It's not like it's Thursday and they're playing Saturday. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right.
But, well, I'm going to need more time. But Buffalo team total, Deacon Mike is set at 73.5. Chris Warren looking at North Carolina as well. So let's roll on here. 7 p.m. Eastern, Toledo Rockets 16-13, 10-6 in the MAC of the number 19th ranked Miami of Ohio Redhawks. 29-0, 16-0 in the MAC. We're at Millett Hall, Oxford, Ohio. Last note on our North Carolina game says, do we really think North Carolina has a chance of beating Duke? So I think they know they can't beat Duke, therefore they need to lay it all on the line tonight. Oh, wow, look at that. Matty Ice says, Spoon, I'll send you $100 if Clemson wins. You send me 50 if North Carolina wins? Oh, I like it. Oh, yeah, Wilson's out. Not coming back. Look at that. No way in hell Clemson wins tonight. Very, very interesting. Let's talk about this game. It's absolutely fascinating. If you guys saw the Ohio Bobcats press conference, you'll know how much it hurt that Toledo beat them for the 11th straight time. Toledo beat Ohio 79-67, their 3rd straight win, playing very good basketball. And now they face Miami of Ohio. And so then we go from one press conference to another press conference. We have, Pearl calling out the Redhawks schedule, 285th strength of schedule. Then the Miami of Ohio AD coming out saying, look, teams won't play us. We offered a ton of teams, and they're afraid they're going to take an L. So a back and forth here. These teams met at home back on January 9th. It was an 87-73 Redhawk victory in Toledo. Miami opened up as 1.5-point favorites, closed 1.5-point dogs here. Interesting stuff coming from our guys here. Oh, and TJ has taken the bet. Okay, TJ has taken the bet. I love our friends so much, man. They're such gamblers. That's the first time I've laughed in like 48 hours or longer. Feels good. All it took was a friend to bet another friend. That felt good to fucking smile. Spooner says these two teams are tied for 4th seed. If Clemson wins, the lock-up sole position of the 4th seed with Georgia Tech on deck. UKC has Trimble on the injury report. And Big So saying Trimble is a big, big piece. But here, let's go to the Toledo-Miami game. So here, I felt like after Toledo beat Ohio again in Ohio and watched, the sad-ass Ohio Bobcat press conference, feeling so good about themselves, and Miami of Ohio coming off a very ugly, ugly victory, which required a last-second winner. Now, that was a spot where we had our guys all over, and I joined them. We had our guys all over Western Michigan, especially Troy Torrance, who was on Western Michigan first half and full game. I got in on that full game, and it was nice. But here, I wanted Miami of Ohio. The line opened up at 7. 10 minutes later, it was a 9. Then it went back to 8. Then I thought it steadied at 8.5, but it's come back to an 8, and now that's a juice towards Toledo. And then let's get to the cash flow here, because I think it is important. I didn't mention the cash flow either here. I should hold back about the importance of it in college basketball. I think we're talking about bigger schools. It may be. Here we have 66% of the tickets, 60% of the cash on Miami of Ohio. Circa hanging at -8. Opened at 8.5. Went down to 7.5. Wow. It went down to 7.5 at 1:08 p.m. Brought it back at 1:10 p.m. to 8. Very, very, very interesting stuff here. By the way, in that North Carolina Clemson game, we know 69% of tickets, 53% of cash is on North Carolina. It's 3.5 across the board there. I wanted Miami of Ohio here. I wanted them here. Take it away, Peter. It's a fascinating game with the Pearl stuff, and then Toledo off a big win over Ohio. What do you think?
You mentioned the Ohio game. That is, I am going to take Ohio first half against UMass. That's moved in their favor, so I'll get a worse line than what I got, but I'll make that an official play. This one, first line I saw was 9, and I definitely thought, free play would be Toledo. I see it's now down to 8, but I didn't bet it down. I won't bet it now. And, this could easily be a 2-point game, easily be a 20-point Miami win, and it's going to be a pass for me. But I will add on right now, what the hell, Ohio first half over UMass, and I'll shop around for a line.
We are talking about that game, so
okay.
Why don't we hold? I'm not going to write it down until we break it down here. But I get it. I get the here because my first thought was to back Miami of Ohio. It's senior night. I mean, I know that the undefeated season means more than that. By the way, Troy says, stopping by to alarm you that we have unusually small limits on UCLA money line. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I did ask Troy to give us a heads up on those spots. Thank you, my friend. Copied and pasted. Spooner says Miami's point guard dealing with an injury. I don't know if he's playing. Toledo's point guard's the best freshman in the conference. That could be an issue. But he says, I expect Miami to roll. Okay, well, these are the spots that I wanted to hear from you guys. Now, let's talk about our next spot. It's a Patriot League Championship first round. TJ, this is his conference here. And I wasn't going to include this, Peter, because I wanted Lafayette. The line had moved from -3 to -5, and I was like, okay, well, it's blowing past me, and I've just got to let it go. And then when I was adding the final games 2-hour show, I noticed that it had come back a half point to 4.5. And I thought that maybe now we could move. Oh, shit. It's back at 5. Don't tell me it's back at 5. It's back at 5. Damn it. Moved back to 5 45 minutes ago. So this opened up at 3.5. 11 minutes later, it's a 4. It doesn't move till 5 till 10:20 in the morning. Back to 4.5 at 10:30 in the morning. And it stays there till 12:46. Now we're back to a 5. I wonder if I should stick to my initial feeling like that was just a little bit too many points here. Or is this just a Leopard smash and grab against the Crusaders, who are weak? Well, this total opened up at 141.5 and is yet to move. No movement here. No movement here. We're in Kirby Sports Center, Easton, Pennsylvania. And I have watched how bad the Crusaders are. There have been times when Lafayette is very strong at home, and I thought this could easily be another one of those spots. Let's just set it up a little bit longer and then hand it over to Peter. There's only 2 games in the Patriot for the first round of the Championship League here. This is the first one at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Holy Cross did get a win at Bucknell. Before that, they had lost 86-83 at home to Lafayette. So it was a very close basketball game. Holy Cross, has lost 5 of 6. It's a team that's just losing and losing and losing. A lot of their losses have been close, though, which does, give me pause. For the Leopards, they come off back-to-back wins. They won at Colgate in impressive fashion, 70-69. Then they beat Army by 6. They had lost by 14 to American, 3, but they won 3 of 4, and the 3 of 4 started with the Holy Cross win. This is an interesting spot. Crusaders Leopards at Kirby Sports Center. Peter, I wanted Lafayette. Is the move from 3 to 5 too much?
I actually didn't get a chance to look at any of the conference tournament games, so sorry about that. I did all the others, but not the conference tournament games.
Okay. I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. As I'd initially left this one off with concern that the 3 to 5 was too big of a move. Only reason why I brought it back was because it hit a 4.5. So I guess I still have interest in the Lafayette Leopards. TJ says Holy Cross's road losses have not been close other than a couple. He likes Lafayette up to 6.5. He's going to bet it now at 4.5. Okay, well, let me just take one more look at those Holy Cross home losses.
You know what, Jim? I'll shout one out. Turkey Cup right now. I'm going to take over 2.5 minus 154 in Istanbul Basaksehir against Trabzonspor. Over 2.5 minus 154. Second soccer.
I guess you're right. I guess those close losses were all at home. Well, but Army's trash. They lost to Colgate by 5, but they proved that they match up with Colgate well. And then they lost at. Well, this is their third meeting with Lafayette. I talked about the last one. Last one was much closer. That first meeting was at home, and they lost 74-55 to Lafayette. Yeah, I'm interested in joining you. Very interested in joining you. Okay. And then, if the 4.5 is a win for you, the 5 is a push for me. It won't be the end of the world. Okay, let's roll on to our next spot on the board. Set this one up for Peter. Is the Oklahoma State Cowboys 17-12, 5-11 in the Big 12, taking on the UCF Knights 20-8, 9-7 in the Big 12. We are at the Edition Financial Arena in Orlando, Florida here. UCF coming off an 87-86 home loss to Baylor. And that made me think that they were going to be an angry group. We just watched them take out BYU. They beat Utah the game before, which isn't a big deal. They took out TCU by 11. But this was a team that seemingly was rolling and then lose to Baylor at home, which you would think would create, legitimate accountability from the better team. They faced each other earlier this year, and Oklahoma State beat UCF, beat them 87-76. Since then, they've won 4 games. That was on January 6th. So since then, Oklahoma State is 4-10. And I want to fade them here, but it's a lot of points. And the problem is that it very likely could be too many points. Let's get to the line history here for Oklahoma State UCF and see what Peter thinks about the spot. It's another 7 p.m. banger. This total is a 168.5. It opened up at 170. And then from a point spread standpoint here, we have UCF minus 9.5. Opened up at -8. Did get back to an 8.5. Oh, got up to 9 and 8.5, 9.5. This just tells me UCF is going to smash after that Baylor game, but maybe Oklahoma State already showed that they match up fine. What are your thoughts here, Oklahoma State UCF, Pete?
Yeah, I like UCF here, and of course it's a high line. So I'm going to do one of my old first half money line parlays. I'm going to take UCF money line first half, which is about -293, parlayed with Tennessee first half money line -270, and that comes to about -119. I think.
What does that end up at?
-119.
Oh wow! So that is UCF first half money line.
Yes, and Tennessee first half money line.
All right, for Loshak, you are in business here. All right, I would like to hear from others if they also feel like it's a smash and grab for UCF here at home. Let's talk about that next spot on the board. This is the one you were referring to. We have a Ohio Bobcat team angry up against the Minutemen in Amherst, Massachusetts. UMass has been losing. Some of them have been really tight. They lost in overtime at home versus Buffalo. They lost in overtime at Ball State, but they just lost by 19 at Bowling Green. Ohio coming off the loss to Toledo, which clearly affected the group. They lost by margin, and it was a disappointing one. Again, every time Toledo plays Miami, just chalk up a loss. Anytime Toledo plays Ohio, just chalk up a loss for Ohio. For the UMass game, Ohio beat them 86-83 at home back. When was this? Back on January 6th. So it's been a long time since they've played each other. Just up until that loss, it felt, Ohio did lose at Miami of Ohio badly as well. And Pete has made a move on this one. So let's pull up the line history. Matty Ice says UMass in capitals. Let's get over here to the line history here for Ohio, UMass, and here what Pete's plan is for this one. So a line history-wise, we have UMass sitting here -2 at -109. Opened up -2, got up to -3. We're right back at a -2. And then from a total side of things, we have go past it. From a total, we're dealing 156, opened up at 155.5. Take it away for us here, Peter. And Spooner says Ohio's rival is Miami. There on deck. He leans to UMass. Matty I says revenge at home. UMass top players are seniors. UMass must win to make the MAC tourney. Your thoughts here, Peter?
Yeah, I think that the first half should be pretty competitive, and I'm going to take Ohio first half. Worst line I'm seeing here is 1.5 plus 1.5 -114, and I will shop around for a little bit better. They could lose, of course, but I think there's a little edge there, so I'm going to take it. Ohio first half plus 1.5 -114.
Is any of it predicated on that loss they just suffered to Toledo and how upset they were in that press conference?
Sure, and stats and everything else. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next spot on the board. And it is a play of the day from our Res Mob Respect play of the day. And there are some of us, myself included, that believes we need a graphic for Respect plays of the day. Steady mobbing. Res Mob in the house. And that is UNC Wilmington first half -2.5 and -115. -2.5. -115. Now, I wanted UNC Wilmington. We talked about it off the top. mean, look what's up for grabs for UNC Wilmington. To be the number 1 seed, to win the CAA. Shout out to my dude in the house. Let's get the line history up here and set this one up because, Elon just got murked. Maybe that, put some extra emphasis on them succeeding here. But this was a spot where I thought, with everything on the line for UNC Wilmington, why wouldn't they be the bet here? So let's get this one set up here. As I said, this opened up at a 5. It was a 4.5 last I looked. And the Seahawks are 14-3 in conference. They're a half game up on Charleston. Charleston has no more games left. UNC Wilmington coming off the loss at home to Charleston, 79-76. That snapped their winning streak. Elon's lost 3 straight. The Towson loss wasn't bad, but they lost, at home to NCAA, North Carolina A&T by 20. Then they just lost at Monmouth by 16. I mean, this team is getting smacked. And these guys played on February 12th, not long ago. It was at UNC Wilmington. UNC Wilmington won 65-54. That was a 6-game winning streak that was snapped against Charleston. So let's take a look at the line history. It's first in the conference, seniors night. So much up for grabs here that I thought maybe this was just a simple smash and grab for the Seahawks. But the line told me that was not the case. Let me get this line history up here. This total is a 146. It's dropped from 148, a 2-point move towards the under. And we get to the point spread here for this one. We have, just go past it again. For the point spread, we got UNC Wilmington minus 4.5. This line's not moving in their direction. It opened up at 5, dropped down to 4.5, then got back to 5. There was 1 point between 1 in the morning and 3 in the morning when that 5 was juiced. Oh, I guess I take that back. Sorry. This line around from 11:30 until 1 in the morning was juiced pretty heavily toward UNC Wilmington, where it looked like it was going to become a 5.5. That's not the case. At 10:53, it moved back to a 4.5. Man, take it away for us, Peter. UNC Wilmington, Seahawks, Elon, Phoenix. I guess Wage Detective says UNC Wilmington by double digits. What do you think here? Take it away.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at soccer stuff. Yeah, I definitely was thinking NC Wilmington here. Elon is just pretty bad, and off of that home loss. But NC Wilmington is locked into the number 1 seed, I believe, for the conference tournament, right?
No,
they're not.
No, they have to win here.
Do they?
I mean, I'll double check that, but I had that they had because they just lost to Charleston.
Right.
I looked this up already, but yeah. So here again, oh shit, where is it here? I had this here. Close the regular season. Oh, fuck. I thought I had. Oh no, that's Elon Athletics.
I was under the impression, and I could be wrong, that they were locked into the number 1 seed now.
No, a victory would deny UNC an outright regular season title, create a tie atop the conference. Fuck. Here, and create with.
Yeah, well, doesn't really matter. I like UNC Wilmington anyway, because a lot of times these elite teams, even when they're playing for nothing, and you think that they're a good fade, I don't necessarily like to fade them, and oftentimes like to bet on them anyway. And so I like UNC Wilmington here regardless. Yeah.
Here. Oh, what's Spooner saying? He says, I've been told repeatedly not to fade Elon at home, specifically their second half team by an Elon fan. The line is fishy. I expect somehow, some way Elon finishes up. They've clinched a share of it. That's it. They've clinched a share of it. Okay, here they announced the tie. Okay. All right, I thought that they needed to win here. And maybe here, I've got the CAA tiebreaker here. Okay, so here it is. UNC Wilmington has clinched at least a share of the CAA regular season title. Considered tonight with a win at Elon on Tuesday. The Seahawks, Charleston, Hofstra blocked up the top 3 seeds. Okay, yeah. At least a share of it. All right, I'm going to have to study this longer here. I thought that they had to win. Okay, let's move on to the next spot on the board. Okay, well, I bet this. Finally, all those games where I was asking you about. Here is one that I've gone ahead and bet. It is also CAA drama. I'm on the Campbell Fighting Camels, and it is a big line for the Campbell Fighting Camels. I got them -7.5, 13-17, 7-10 the CAA. They are hosting the North Carolina A&T Aggies. We're at Buies Creek, North Carolina for this one. 3 straight losses for the Campbell Fighting Camels. Right when I thought they were really getting it together, they lost at home to UNC Wilmington by 5. Then they lost by 5 at Drexel, lost by 4 at Towson, and now they close the season here. They beat NCAA at NCAA 79-71 not too long ago. I thought Campbell was putting it all together, and it just felt like this could be a smash and grab type scenario. North Carolina A&T gains nothing from this. Nothing. They can't move up, down. They can't do anything seeding-wise. They can do nothing. This is a game where Campbell on seniors night has it all up to them, and I expect them to smash. And I bet a very expensive line at 7.5. Ooh, I see the important offshores moved it to 8. This is still at 7.5 at most offshores. From a total perspective here, we have this sitting at a 156.5. It opened up at 157. I'm on the Fighting Camels, man. The camel, get some camel spit. Let's get this fucking money, man. What do you think of this spot, Peter?
I was thinking about like a first half over at this point in the season. Sometimes these kinds of games, I'm not going to take it, but definitely leaning over and leaning first half over. I believe this game doesn't really matter for seeding. It's understandable why you think like why would NCAA care? They probably won't, but sometimes they show up. I'd be leaning over on this one, but I'm not going to pull the trigger on it. Yeah, leaning over.
Interesting. I will take the note. I have now Campbell can change their seating, and they can also be caught up from the back as well. But the over I've got here for a Loshak lean. All right. Okay, let's roll on. Next spot on the board here, Missouri Tigers, Oklahoma Sooners.
And one other, Jim. The both teams to score no lost in that game, but I'm also going to take it live under 3.25 -154. That's
okay.
Padova and Spezia Calcio in Italy Serie B.
Now, I almost bet this game, and I slowed myself down. Missouri Tigers, Oklahoma Sooners. Just an egregious error was being on Mississippi State in that Missouri game. It was just horrific from the jump. On the other hand, the Sooners have been playing some of their best basketball. They lost badly at Tennessee, but they lost by 4 at Texas A&M. At home, they beat Auburn by 12. Then they took out LSU, and I know LSU is trash this year, but took them out 83-67. I thought the line was fishy with the Sooners as favorites. They had played Missouri very tough back on Saturday, January 24th, 88-87 in overtime. Justin McKelvey is the over 154.5 here. They're on the what does OP stand for? I don't know, Gorky. I don't know offhand. I'll have to look it up here. But yes, all that stuff's on our site. I mean, it doesn't catch all of our action because it's all put in by hand. So, a lot of times, we'll throw in action just before start time, and that stuff doesn't get, calculated. But stuff we get in early enough does. Here, Missouri, Oklahoma. So I wanted Oklahoma, and I still do. This had moved slightly towards Oklahoma. It appears that it's moved a little bit more now. This total's a 155, opened up at 154.5. And from a point spread standpoint, it's still okay. There's some 2.5s. It's now a juice 2, though. There was a heavy move towards Oklahoma early. Opened up at 1 and got to 3 within the first 2.5 hours this was available. Now we're back at 2, and it's juiced This is big schools, big action. So I'm going to pull up the cash flow as I would like to know what it is with these big schools. Again, this is more 7 p.m. action. 55% of tickets, 50% of cash on Missouri. And over at Circa, this is moved from -3 to -2. Take it away for us here, Peter. I was very interested in the Oklahoma Sooners, but didn't pull the trigger. What do you think?
This is just a tough one. This is one of those games where I don't really want to fade either team. So in those cases, my attitude is sure I'll take the dog. Why not? But this game scares me, and it's going to be a pass for me. Got nothing on it.
Now you said that you didn't cap any of the tournament games.
Yeah.
This is one I did bet. I am on Green Bay in this one. This is round 1 of the Horizon Championship. And this isn't a fade of PFW. This is backing Green Bay. They're playing good ball. They took out Oakland. Oakland's a very dangerous team in this conference. They took out Oakland on the road. They lost by 4 to Detroit Mercy. Detroit Mercy, another very dangerous team that cashed on Friday with. I think it's Friday or Saturday. And then they annihilate Youngstown State. Youngstown State had been playing very good ball, and they destroyed them. They also destroyed PFW 76-59 at home just 3 weeks ago in very impressive fashion. Wager Detective saying Oklahoma. Wager Detective says clear as day, Oklahoma 4, Wager Detective. I moved on Green Bay. I got the -4 at -110. It actually wasn't available all the books when I moved on it. I got it at 365 -4 at -110. Let's see what it is now. I believe we've moved on. Oh, yeah, moved into the 8 p.m. time slot. So this is a Horizon League spot. Still 4s. I see a very sharp book at 4.5. Oh, I guess this was a 4.5 too. Only lasted 4.5 for 30 minutes. So we've had, no movement on this one. I was hoping that we would have some movement. From a total scenario here, we have a 144, a big drop. I guess tournament play. This one opened up at 149, dropped 5 points to 144. Peter, I know you didn't look at it, and I'm talking about it now. Was there ever any interest in this spot?
No, I really didn't look at it. I really did not. Sorry.
Got the 4 here at Circa. It's juiced to PFW. This just became available 20 minutes ago. Wow. So we'll see if there's any movement. Superbook hanging a 4.5. They did open it at 4, moved it to 4.5. Well, that's a good sign. Okay, so I'm on Green Bay. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. We head over to the SWAC. And this was a spot, the next SWAC game. I like betting these SWAC games. The last SWAC game, or the next SWAC game I bet. This one I haven't, but I'm interested in Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions, 12-17, 9-7 in the SWAC. At the Jackson State Tigers, 9-20, 8-8 in the SWAC. Let's pull up the line history here for this spot. And I like it, man. But I did not like it enough to bet. This total opened up at 153.5. That's where it is right now, 153.5. No movement there. Then from a point spread scenario, we have Arkansas Pine Bluff at +1. They opened up at +1.5. So a half-point move towards Pine Bluff here. Let me just quickly pull up, get back to my notes here. Sorry, in the SWAC-tion. Here we go. Okay, so I have moved on Alabama State against Southern, but this is the spot that I was very, very interested in. Arkansas Pine Bluff just lost to maybe the worst team. I believe they're still ranked the worst team in America. They just lost to Mississippi Valley State, 70-69 at home. It's egregious and horrific. And my thought process was that they'd want to take it out on Jackson State. Jackson State's been so bad on the road, but they've been pretty good at home. They beat in their last time that we saw them at home. They took out conference leader Bethune-Cookman. So I did have some, hesitation. There's not a lot of wins of late for Arkansas Pine Bluff. They had a real legit winning streak going for a little while. They faced Jackson State at home February 9th and destroyed them 84-63. So why would this line open the way it has? So that's what gave me pause. I guess I could stay off of this spot. Yeah, Goracle, we talked about that. The chat at least was talking about that off the top. It's wild. So take it away for us here, Peter. What did you think of my thoughts on the Golden Lions to take out Jackson State after I sat with it for a little while, I was like, well, I could still at least take them first half. They just lost outright to Mississippi Valley State. Isn't that embarrassing? Won't they show up first half? But then Jackson State hasn't been at home in a while, and they've looked good when they were there. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I would. The SWAC is if there's something that I'm really liking or that I know about or someone I really trust tells me something, I will certainly bet it. But I definitely proceed with caution. Seems like something's going on with Arkansas Pine Bluff. 5 straight, ATS losses and 4 by margins. So they're either really struggling or really fixing things. And, I have no idea really whether they're likely to turn it around here or not. I'm not saying someone doesn't. I'm saying I
don't. I think, you're right. I think I can get off of this one. My dude has the Mariners to win the AL. I would need to study it longer. Obviously, they were, a game away last year, and they look really strong this year, lineup-wise. What's the number that you got on them? That would be interesting. Okay. Let's roll on. This one I did move on. I'm on the Alabama State Hornets. I'm on the Hornets here, -1.5, -109. They're hosting the Southern Jaguars here. This is not seniors night. That's on Thursday versus Grambling. They lost to Southern 69-68 back on February 9th. Tough loss at Southern. They've looked pretty good. They hammered Arkansas Pine Bluff. They absolutely annihilated Mississippi Valley State. They lose at Bethune-Cookman, number 1 team in the conference. They lost at Florida A&M 76-63 on last 2 Saturdays back. Then they beat Alabama A&M on the road 89-88 last out. And I like them here. I thought this was a line that was setting up action on Southern. I like Alabama State to deliver. Southern just had a really tough loss on seniors night at home versus Bethune-Cookman. But this is, a team that's lost 3 of their last 4. I thought they were ripe for getting another loss here. SWAC, their Southern's 9-7. Alabama State 7-9. This is a crucial win needed here. 1,300. Okay, cool, man. I will definitely look into it, man. Nothing I don't like about it for sure. So now look at this. Oh no, that's damn it. I thought that was good. Oh yes, 2.5. Okay, beautiful. -2.5, -108. That's great to see. I got the 1.5 -109. This opened up as a pick'em. That's a pretty legit move towards Alabama State. And I expect this one to cash here. Alabama State Hornets. I got 1.5 -109. It's now a 2. This total is 153. Opened up at 154.5. Just 2 games left on the college basketball card. Peter, what do you think of that spot?
Think it's great. Sorry, look at it. I'm sorry. Which game are we talking about again?
Don't worry about it. Let's move on to the next game here. Don't worry. Well, it's all good. Next spot on the board, BYU Cougars, Cincinnati Bearcats is our next spot here. Do you need some time to go over soccer? It's 2 p.m. You want to come back in 5 minutes?
No. I've just clue me in when you. No, the BYU game, the Cincinnati game. I definitely have an opinion on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're okay?
Yeah. No, I'm good. Sorry, I was just.
Okay, but if you want to take some time to go over the 2 p.m. soccer game, so you want to.
Yeah. No. It's there's like a lot of stuff that I'm here. Don't worry. I'm just doing 2 things at once. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm here then.
BYU Cougars, Cincinnati Bearcats here. I'm very interested in moving on the Bearcats here. I did not move on them yet. BYU, losers of 3 of their last 4. They did beat Iowa State at home, which was impressive. Then they lose to UCF. They lose at West Virginia. Obviously, the Richie injury has hurt them. This is a team that's looks like it's slipping here now. 8-8 in the Big 12. Cincinnati beat Kansas on the road and then, struggled at Texas Tech, took their anger out on Oklahoma State. And I'm interested in backing them here. This one pops off at 9 p.m. We have a total of 152. This one opened up at 153.5. And from a point spread perspective here, we have this one. Oh, sorry, here we go. God damn it. We have Cincinnati minus 2.5. Opened up at minus 1.5. Got up to 2, back to 1.5. 2. Now we're sitting at a 2.5. A full point move towards the Bearcats. Big schools, so big money. Big Zo says Cincinnati first half. Money line looks tasty as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. 9 p.m. start here. And we have here. Not that. I don't fucking. All right, it's taking me a second here. But I wanted the Bearcats. I'll pull up the cash flow here in a second. What do you think of this, Bob Pete?
I definitely was leaning Cincinnati, but I don't have a really good read right now on what's wrong with BYU and how likely it is to how likely they are to be able to fix it. It definitely seems like hold on, let me find my notes here. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Cincinnati team total over maybe, because then maybe if they lose, but it's a high scoring game, you cash anyway. But I mean, BYU, their struggles have coincided with an injury, right? That I think it was the second leading scorer, and they were ranked, and now they're stinking it up, and it just feels like at any time they could turn it around, but I'm not exactly sure when they're likely to. And now they're going up against a team that is definitely more up than down, and a team that I'm looking to bet on more than against. So the pick'em line, felt a little bit weird. I thought maybe Cincinnati would be a little bit of a favorite. The first line I saw was pick'em. So definitely leaning Cincy, and definitely maybe to be safe, Cincy team total over.
I mean, it's a 29 BYU team, but I guess with Cincinnati at home, it is a fishy line. Now it's a 2.5. Is that enough of a move?
To Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would have expected it to open at, So when I saw Pick'em, I was just a little bit wondering what was going on,
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, let's roll into our last spot on the board before we get into NBA. Then we'll do a review of college basketball action here. So let's get this one set up. Our last spot on the board, San Diego State Aztecs 19-9, 13-5 in the Mountain West at the Boise State Broncos 18-11, 10-8 in the Mountain West for Extra Mile Arena in Boise, Idaho. I want Boise State here, but I got enough cold feet to want to talk to you guys and hear your thoughts on the spot. San Diego State Aztecs looked incredible against Utah State. The line was implying that they were going to win that game, and that's exactly what they did. If we look at their last 2 road games, they lose at Colorado State by 9. They lose at New Mexico by 5. And here we have a Boise State team that is seemingly fixed whatever was ailing them with those back-to-back losses. They had lost 3 out of 5 games. They lost at Grand Canyon, beat Nevada and New Mexico. They beat New Mexico on the road, which was extremely impressive. Lose to UNLV at home in overtime, and then get destroyed at Utah State. They beat San Jose State, beat Wyoming, take out Fresno State, weaker competition. And now they get another shot at the Aztecs. If you guys remember the game when they played January 3rd, triple overtime. They lose at San Diego State, triple overtime. This is seniors night for the Broncos. It just feels like a spot where Boise State takes care of business here. Let's get the line history up for this one and hear your thoughts. Love to hear everybody in the chat as well. So, Peter, this is a -1. It's not moved since the line became available at 3:50 p.m. yesterday. That always makes me nervous, as if the books are extremely comfortable where the money is. There's been a 2-cent move at another book. There's no cash flow information. It just seems like this is the kind of coin flip game that I should probably stay off of, but I want the Broncos here. Our final spot on the board, Pete, take it away. Aztecs, Broncos.
I mean, I was definitely feeling the same way as you. I was leaning Boise. First game, of course, went to OT. San Diego State off the close loss at New Mexico is not great to bet against. But yeah, I think that Boise State is probably the right side. Statistically, I think they are. And anything can happen. It might be just a 54% edge or something, in which case you're going to lose 46% of the time. But I agree with you. Definitely leaning Boise.
But I mean, the book's just not moving this line means comfortable, coin flippy. All right, I'm gonna need. I don't know if I need to add to the card. My plan was to be on the Broncos, but I would like the Broncos to have opened up as 2-point favorites, moved to 3, and know that it's the right side. Team Oz, great to see you, man. Okay, let's do a review of our college basketball action here, Peter. So here's a couple things. From Spooner is on West Virginia, Clemson money line, Seton Hall -1, Monmouth -3. It's the spot we're both on. NJIT +5.5, Colorado money line, and UCLA money line. We also heard from Troy that there's very low limits on people trying to get money in on UCLA. Twisted 24/7, Clemson +4, West Virginia -2, Cincinnati -2.5, Cincinnati -2, UCLA -1, UNC Wilmington -6, LSU +9, and UCF -9. I agree with a lot of what Twisted's looking at in this one. We have 9 legacy on Oklahoma -2.5, UCLA -1.5. Interested in revisiting that UCLA spot now. So for me, I have 4 bets that I have placed. Monmouth -4, Campbell -7.5, Green Bay -4, and Alabama State -1.5. I like Alabama State the most. We have Von Polo on UCLA and Cincinnati. Let me get that copied and pasted. And then for possible additions here, Lafayette, maybe I'm going to have waited too long. UCF. I like Pete's look on Ohio first half. I'm interested in it. I want to revisit UNC Wilmington, but I guess I leave it alone. And then the late games are all still kind of befuddling. So I guess I won't have that big of a card here. I'm still interested in North Carolina, but I don't know if I want to line up to be on the other side of Spooner, who doesn't need no stinking points. And Twisted 24/7. Peter, so set up, review your action, and then we're going to get into Mavericks Hornets, and I will be right back. So review your action. Feel free to set up Mavericks Hornets. I'll be back in one.
What about there's a few things that I wanted to add. Do you want me to do you want to stay for that, or do you want me to just say them?
Yeah.
While you're
hit me with what are your additions?
While you do something. Oh,
yeah, I got
you there.
But hit me with the additions.
Oh, what's going on? Oh no, am I muted?
No, you're good.
Hello?
What are your additions?
Hello?
Okay. We've lost Pete for some reason here. So you've heard my action, but let's roll on to NBA. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Dallas Mavericks at the Charlotte Hornets. Let's get this set up here. Dallas Mavericks at Charlotte Hornets. I could hear Pete. Was no one else hearing him? Or he couldn't hear us? Okay. Let's roll. Dallas Mavericks, Charlotte Hornets is our first spot on the board. Mavericks coming off the home loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, where they only put up 87 points. Pete, can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can hear you. You just were. I couldn't hear you at all. You went mute. Okay, so do you want me to the 2 that I made official in college basketball? Ohio first half +1.5 -114, and UCF and Tennessee first half money line parlay. That's -119. 2 that I wanted to add were Drexel first half +5 -113, and I think TCU first half +4.5 -106 at Texas Tech as well. I don't know if anyone agrees with those or disagrees with them, but those are two plays that I definitely wanted to add.
So that was Drexel first half -2 and TCU first half.
Drexel first half +5 -113.
Okay, sorry.
And TCU first half +4.5 -106.
Okay, I'll be right back, but feel free to set up the Mavericks Hornets game.
Okay, sure. Okay, Mavs Hornets game is let me go to my other notes here. All right, Mavs Hornets. Here we go. Sorry, I got to scan down here. NBA huge friggin' notes sheet. All right, so Mavs Hornets, obviously Hornets, huge favorite. Dallas, not good, but they are sometimes too big of a dog, and they get a cover. Now they're on the road, and they did cover the last 3 games of their road trip, and Charlotte, of course, rolling ATS. 11-1 ATS last 12, and recently by margins. So it's just very, very, very scary to bet against Charlotte right now, pretty much in any situation. But it's also a little bit scary to bet against Dallas on the road, getting a huge number. So this is going to be a pass for me, although I would consider using the old, Charlotte money line parlay first half, maybe. Hard to see Charlotte losing again, but this is, a huge number, of course. So it's definitely going to pass me. Very interested to see if anyone likes anything here. But Charlotte is a freaking juggernaut, and I think getting more juggernauty as the games go on. Their ATS cover margins are getting bigger, not smaller, and it is now up to 13. First line I saw was 12.5 total. Wow, down to 228. And yeah, I had a slight lean. That was my note here, was slight lean to the under, but that was at 231, and now it's down to 228. So that's it's a pretty big drop there. But lean to the under, and as far as the side, just really couldn't pull the trigger on either side, really.
Charlotte is their offensive efficiency, what they've done over the last 20 games. If they were able to do it over a season, they would have the number 1 offense of all time. That's what Charlotte's done. Yeah, it's unbelievable. This is a team that's made the playoffs 3 times since 2005. There are no jerseys hanging in the rafters. It's what this turnaround has happened is absolutely unbelievable. They're playing at such a high level right now that it's I don't remember ever seeing a turn like this. They're blowing out the opposition. The fact that this is a minus 13 right now is wild. It's a 13.5 at some books. The 13 is juiced. 92% of the cash is on them, and they just keep moving the line towards Charlotte. Dallas is so bad that it's very possible that they can't even put together a number high enough. Let's just quickly take a look and make sure that everybody is good to go. I mean, what Knippel's doing is incredible. This team has depth. Kobe White's not going to be in the lineup. Thompson, doubtful. Flag, doubtful. PJ Washington, probable. And Caleb Martin, probable. I mean, for how long is Dallas going to fight here? I think even at this ridiculous number, Charlotte should be backed. Even at this number, Charlotte should be back. Those of you that got the 11.5, excellent work. I mean, I had such a bad week last week. It was just the Hornets that were cashing for me. Everything else was falling apart. This is just a smash and grab. I think that what will this line be at tip-off? 14.5, 15?
Yeah, hard to imagine, if the Sharps are going to come back on Dallas. I have no idea. No clue.
I don't see it feels like that printing money right now it's Charlotte right now. And if you're not a part of it, you're just leaving money on the table. And they're rested. This is a rested group on a 4-game winning streak. They know, what's at stake here. 3 playoff appearances since 2005. I mean, yeah, it's insane. Let's roll on. Hornets should be bet. I've not moved on any basketball. Any NBA. Last 2 weeks have been terrible for me. A whole year of good work thrown away because of 2 bad weeks when I guess my focus was too heavy on college. But I think Charlotte should be bet. Let's keep rolling, my man.
All right, next one is Detroit, Cleveland, and again, this is like I guess I'm no NBA expert. Seems like a suspiciously low line. I mean, Detroit, of course, awesome, right? Last game was a margin road cover at Orlando. Now they're 6-0 ATS in their last 6 road games, and the Cavs are back home after a 3-game trip. They beat the Nets straight up, but lost ATS. And the Cavs have been good ATS at home. And of course, they played at Detroit 2 games ago and they lost in OT. But it just seems like Detroit is just too good, unless you think that the refs are gonna try to hand this one to Cleveland, which may be the case. In which case, you would bet Cleveland. But it just feels like, all things being equal, even Cleveland at home has a very low line. Detroit -1.5. I didn't see where it if it's moved, but very, very low line for Detroit in light of how awesome they are.
The line is so telling, man. I mean, it's so telling. Stewart comes back. The 11-game suspension went pretty quick. Justin McKelvey on the under 227.5 in his pocket. I mean, this line is it's so telling that, how could Detroit be a favorite on the road? Now, they're 21-7 on the road. So, I mean, that we get that. But this is still just absolutely nuts. You'd say, okay, well, the opening line is crazy. They're asking for Cavs. And then they move the line towards the Pistons. I don't. You have 69% of the cash right now on Cleveland, and the books are just smiling. Circa opened this up at -1 for Detroit, moved it to 1.5, now to 2.5. AOD says the Bickerstaff revenge game. I don't see. You could say all you want that this doesn't make sense. The Cavaliers are being disrespected, all this stuff. Or you could just follow the books here and back Detroit. I think that's what should be done. I think that the books are telling us here that Detroit will win again. And just to back them, even though that first contest was so close. We have Detroit completely healthy. Stewart back coming off the bench. Speaking of Charlotte, Charlotte drafted Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and traded him immediately. Charlotte drafted Jalen Duren and traded him immediately for trash. They got back on both those trades trash.
I mean, the question is, and I don't follow NBA close enough right now to know it, but is this a situation where the call will come and the refs will make sure that Cleveland gets a revenge win here?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think. I don't think the NBA cares that much what's happening at Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Do you? I mean, what do they care? Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland, Detroit. This isn't like, make sure that the Lakers make the NBA final against the Kings. To me, I don't. I think that Detroit should be back there. Detroit -2.5 should be back there, and so I'm going to follow it and do it and bet it. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. We have the free bands play of the day here from Dougie Wise. He's on the Magic -15.5. Let's roll.
Yeah. Well, Washington on a back-to-back, lost at Houston but covered, and Washington. I think I have an okay read on them. They can get some nice covers at home, but then on the road they just get blasted. They just get stewed, and 15.5 is not too many points, to be given them. And Orlando off of 2 pretty uninspiring. Home straight up and ATS losses to good teams. Feels like Orlando is worth it. Maybe first half, maybe full game. I don't know, but that's the way it feels, right?
Well, you're going to get accountability from them. Home losses. Now they're to the Rockets and the Pistons.
Yeah,
but they got beaten badly by the Pistons. Yeah, I think it all makes sense here. We're all waiting. We watched Trae Young get kicked out of the game yesterday. Eason is a beast, man. All that was just wild that they let that first push go, and then they ended up in retroactively giving him, kicking him out of the game and giving him, 2 fouls. But there's going to be some fun in the playoffs. For the first time in a long time, you're seeing some anger and some toughness and players not liking each other, which isn't something we've seen in the NBA in some time, something we want to see. Bring us back to the 80s basketball, man. And Trae Young, showed that he cares. I kind of liked everything about it. I'm looking forward to see Trae Young in a Wizard outfit, man. So Young, Watkins, Vukovic, Sarr, Russell, George, Davis out. Anthony Gill questionable. That's a mess. Wagner out. Black questionable. But you have to. I agree with the look. I think that the Magic absolutely dominate here.
Now, in a spot like this, would you prefer them first half or full game, or does it not really matter?
In a spot like this, I would prefer full game, just because the Wizards are so broken with no depth and don't care. Starting a road trip here, I would prefer full game here. I guess they're not, because they got to come home and play Utah, then they go back on the road. I thought this was the beginning of the 6-gamer, but I didn't realize they go back home for one game. That's terrible. They go back for a game. You know, that first game of this road trip on Sunday at New Orleans. Oh, they should be faded, man. This is terrible. You play at Orlando, so then tomorrow you fly home. Then you play Utah on Thursday. Then, I guess they got a couple days. I take that back. Sorry, I thought that game was on Saturday. I guess they got Friday, Saturday off, so it's not as bad as it looks. Yeah, I would take the full game here. These teams can show a little bit of heart, especially for. I mean, I understand Orlando's angry and is going to play accountable. It's still the Wizards. So I think Dougie Wise is right with the free bands. I think that it's uncomfortable taking favorites at this high a number. I screwed it up last week. I took the Brooklyn Nets first half and full game team total unders and lost them both. And the Celtics put up 140 points and won by 35. Like, it was just stupid bets by me here. I was just getting too cute. I think Dougie Wise is right. I think it's a Magic smash and grab. Let's just take a look at the cash flow here quickly. We have 61% of tickets, 90% of cash on Orlando. Circus moved this to a 16. Yeah, and I don't think it's that much money coming down, too. I don't think we need to. Where Wise is not moving to 16.5 or to 17. Big Zoe says Wiz team total under. I get it, Zoe, but that got me in the Brooklyn Celtics game. All I had to do was take the Celtics full game, and I sit back and cash it. And you know that the Celtics didn't even cover the first half in that game. They lost that by a point. But they win the full game by 30. I think we need to take advantage of teams' lack of depth, and that's what the Wizards have here, personally. So I think there's moves to be made in all three of these games to start. Charlotte, Detroit, Orlando. Now, this isn't a spot where there's, like in the Charlotte game, there's 88% of the money on Charlotte, but the line's moving drastically. Here, there's 90% of the money on Orlando. The line's not moving that much, which is a bit of a concern. Is it enough of a concern? I'm with Dougie Wise here. Nasty Nate says the second quarter cash. Most likely, man. You've been crushing with that, Nate. Respect. By the way, in that last game, Chris Warren says the game will land right around the number, so that's a good sign to stay off, but he leans Wizards. Let's roll on to Nets Heat, Peter.
Here's another one. The Nets coming off a cover against Cleveland, but before that, they had lost 7 in a row ATS, and this is another maybe don't overthink it play. Just take Miami minus 13, 14, whatever. I mean, Nets on the road, and I was also thinking about Nets team total under maybe Miami first half money line in a parlay or something, but just feels like another don't overthink it spot. Don't get scared by the huge number and just take Miami.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see if everyone's going to be in here. It's got to be so hard. They played Brooklyn twice. You just played the Rockets. You just played KD in a game where, God, there was so much intensity. And now you got Brooklyn back-to-back nights. This one makes me a little more nervous here.
Does it?
It does, just because how do you go from KD and Easton, all that intensity, Hero and KD, beaking off at each other, into the Brooklyn Nets? Demon is out, so Terrence Mann will be at the 2. Norman Powell out, Jovic out. Davion Mitchell questionable, Wiggins probable. Here I'd like to look at the line history again, because this one hasn't moved. Opens up at minus 13, sitting at minus 13. This one makes me more uncomfortable. 66% of the tickets are on Miami, just 57% of the cash. It's a very different setup than the other ones.
Is it?
Well, just from a money wise and a line movement wise. The other two big favorites, we have heavy action on them, the line moving in their favor. Here, it seems like, it's showing us that the bigger bets have been placed on Brooklyn. This line's not moving. It feels like one of those spots where the Nets play the Heat tough, or the Heat don't show up after playing the Rockets and caring, and then they have to smash them when they play 2 nights from now because they're embarrassed at how they play here. Chris Warren says he trusts the Wizards to cover more than the Nets. Yeah, I guess I get it. The Magic and Heat almost have identical records now this deep in the year, and that's just because of the Heat's injuries to start there. I know you could say the same thing with the Magic not having Wagner. Chris Warren says 2-point difference in that number, 2 points. Not anymore. It's now a 3-point difference in the number. And one line's moved. Chris Warren, there's no. I don't disagree with you. I've cashed with the Wizards often this year. I've done okay with them, and I've cashed a lot with them first quarter. But Von Polo going to take the Wizards in that Wizards Magic spot. This one makes me nervous. This one I don't want, Pete. I don't want the Heat. But I'm certainly not going to, expect either. I don't want to. I like backing these teams at home. I also like backing these teams, these terrible teams, on the second half of a back-to-back after they've played horrible in the first game, and then I like taking them first quarter in those spots. This one doesn't appeal to me, and also none of these double-digit favorites are on the first of a back-to-back, so I can't bet the under, which is unfortunate. But let's talk. Hey, we got a good one coming up next. Let's talk Knicks Raptors.
I was going to say the line has gone down a little bit. I'm going to take the Nets team total under 106.5 minus 114. I'll do that official. All right.
Yeah, let me grab that for you here.
All right.
Team total under 106.5.
106.5 minus 114.
All right.
Okay. And then the next game on the card, Knicks Toronto. Knicks, of course, off of 2 huge margin ATS wins. Before that, they had lost a bunch of games in a row ATS. Toronto in general been good ATS. Lost the last one, too big of a favorite at Washington. And my real opinion in this game is not at all sure about this one at all. But my other opinion is Toronto maybe as a dog and lean over.
Yeah, it was crazy watching the Wizards game because the Raptors just weren't playing any defense. It's astonishing when this team looked like it was going to be a tough out in the playoffs, and now it looks like the Cavs will just run right over us here. We're just 3.5 games back of the Knicks right now, in the Atlantic. Knicks 2 games back of the Celtics. So this is the 4th time that we've played the Knicks, and they've dummied us every game. Dummied us. They beat us by 22 the first time we met. I was at New York. Then they played at Toronto. They beat us by 16. And then we played them again, a little over a month ago. And they dummied us by 27. Do the Raptors have any heart? That's the question. Do they have heart? We better see it here. Sweaty Butcher now says late, but the Magic have failed to cover both games as double-digit favorites this season. Sweaty Butcher, if you have a second, because I'd have to pull it up myself, could you see if either of them were in a situation similar to this where they'd lost 2 straight and weren't playing well? Because there should be more accountability here. Dougie Y says Knicks or nothing to me. This is such an important game for Toronto. They're talking about this like this. You show us that we're going to have any hope in the playoffs, or tell us to give up on you guys.
Is that how they're talking?
Yeah.
So what about first half?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to sit here and tell you that this team is hard. It seems going to battle. I don't know.
Have the Knicks dominated because of matchup issues, or just a little variance here and there?
The Knicks are just better. But IQ and RJ Barrett, do they care? I mean, does BI care? God, I mean, BI's been great, and I don't mean any negativity towards him. It sucks Murray Boyle's not going to be here. Duke's not going to be in lineup for the Knicks, but this is just okay. Thank you, Sweaty Butcher. And then Aaron Gaza says, "Why is the line -2.5?" You know, I guess we have to hear a couple. I think this is what is important here. Is if we're uncomfortable, like we're saying, well, why is it only 2.5? Let's talk about the last time, because it was a similar situation. We'd lost twice to the Knicks by huge numbers, and we were expecting to step up. In that game at home, Peter, we were up 28-18 after the first quarter. So your first half look makes sense. We were winning after the first quarter.
So maybe just first quarter.
But that line was Raptors -1.5. So now we have Raptors -2.5. I don't want my bias to get in here. Now the bias is negative. Obviously, you hear me talking like the Knicks coming in and just dumbing us is tricky. But you have to think though, this has got to be the spot. Whether I think the Knicks just beat up on the Spurs, dominated the San Antonio Spurs again. And in that one, the Knicks were home dogs. And they just took over, outscored them by 14. I think that's the problem, is that maybe they should be faded first half, because it seems like the Knicks' heart comes out on the road. High Owl says the Knicks absolutely suck. They're 39-22. 39-22, High Owl. He says, okay, how exactly are the Knicks better? I don't need to answer that. So yeah, I think that the Raptors should probably be bet first quarter or first half. I think I'd love to say that the Raptors will show heart and determination here, but we just seem to get dummied, and I can't tell if they care enough. None of us can. But this is the game. This is a game where we're supposed to understand. High Owl says the Knicks fold under real pressure. Look, okay, fuck. I guess you're watching two different basketball teams. Did they fold under real pressure against the Spurs in the NBA Cup? I don't know. But God bless you, High Owl. They only perform when no one's looking. Wasn't everybody looking against the Spurs? Wasn't everybody looking in the... Actually, let's just stay focused here. I don't need to reply to that shit. I guess I need more time with this here. I guess I need a little more time. But I think that the Raps should be bet in the first quarter. And maybe it should be a first quarter, first half. You probably have... I mean, isn't this exactly where we want to fade the team? They just dummied the Spurs. National television dummied them. And then they've beaten the Raptors by double digits all three times they faced them. This is exactly the situation that we need to back the Raptors. I don't know if I want 2 units on it, but Raptors first quarter, I think, is a must bet. And then I'll decide if I want the first half too.
You don't want the first half because the heart might start coming out in the second quarter. And
that's what we saw the last time in the exact same situation.
Right.
So let's just look at the cash flow too. 79% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on the Raptors. I mean, if that's not a one-way ticket on the Knicks, that's a lot of money on the Knicks. 79 and 93. And what has Circa done with this? They've moved this a half point towards the Raptors. I mean, I think that this is a Raptors spot. Maybe it's... the only reason why I wouldn't want first quarter, first half is because I wouldn't want to put 2 units on it. This has to be a Raptors spot. Everybody in the city talking about the Knicks dummying us. Now the Knicks are coming off dummying the Spurs on national television. So I want the Raptors. Everything's telling us to move on the Raptors. All the money
except the market, except the market, right? It hasn't moved in there.
Perfect, I think, because yes, you could say yes, this line's moved slightly towards the Raptors at some spots. At Circa, they opened up at 2.5. It's now at 2. Circa has 81% of the tickets and 91% of cash on the Knicks. All this money's on the Knicks, and it's not really moving towards them.
All right, I'm going to take the Raps first half. First half plus 1.5 minus 109. I'll take it.
All right, Loshak moving on the Raps. First half. What did you get?
Plus 1.5 minus 109.
Yeah, I think the Raptors need to be bet in this situation, and I think that for me, I get a little bit less confident the longer the game goes on. Let's roll on to Spurs Sixers.
Spurs Sixers, no Embiid for Philly here, so Philly a big dog here. Spurs had been rolling, but they're now off a 25-point loss at the Knicks. Before that, though, 11 straight up wins and 8-2-1 ATS in those. So was that just a blip for the Spurs? And Philly also been playing well and also off a 20-point loss at Boston. So which team will bounce back? I really don't know. Maybe lean over because both teams pissed about sub 100-point losses. Kind of a high total, though, like in the 230s, what I saw initially. My only thought is over.
God, this is one where, if I try to think who is more embarrassed off the loss, it's the Spurs. But the market's done it. It's 6.5 to an 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many points, and we're supposed to live in this world where we expect every team that loses by margin to bounce back, and this is a tough road trip for the Spurs, and it ends here. They fly home tomorrow. So the question is, are they going to put it all on the line? I don't know if they are. I don't know if they are. I guess that I don't want to get maybe I could get in the way of this because you can explain the line move. Everybody's like, the Spurs just got embarrassed. They're going to come out and destroy the Sixers, but it's the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. I'd never want teams on the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. I shouldn't say who cares that Embiid's not out there, but I don't know. I think that I'm probably better off just not, getting in the way of these line moves. But if we look here at the cash flow and it's all on the Spurs, it is 73% of tickets, 91% of the cash. And this opened up at 10:33 p.m. at Circa 8, and it hasn't moved. They're both coming off of losses. I guess you have to ask yourself, do you feel like the Spurs were really angry off of that loss? Because the Sixers lose to Boston by 16. It wasn't at home. They beat the Heat in their last home game. They haven't been home very much. Now Philly's on the first of a back-to-back. That's the problem. They host Utah tomorrow. Not that they care about it. I guess I need to stay off of this game. I guess if Philly wasn't, and then I guess that's why Embiid's sitting. God, part of me wants to get in the way of this line move. I think this is very difficult one. I'm going to need more time on it. What has gone on with the total here? That'd be interesting to me here. Quickly, I don't have the pace numbers up today from post All-Star break, but this has gone to 233. This opened up at 231.5, got up to 234, got 234.5 a couple times. Oh, this one is tough. Aaron God says Sixers first leg of a back-to-back. Too much going on in this game. Yeah, Oubre's out. Okay. Dougie White says without Embiid, Wemby will dominate. 5th game of a road trip. God, this is so convoluted. Chris Warren on Wemby over 24.5 points. Sweaty Butch says away favorites off a loss facing an opponent off a loss are 3-7 against the spread last 10. Wow. Look, I would like to be on the Sixers, but just because it's the final game of the Spurs road trip, but I don't have the balls right now to go up against market move. I do like a lot, though. I like a lot that Circa's not moved this number at all. Like, that is very appealing. All this money coming in on the Spurs, and they've just left it at 8. I do like that. So I have interest in the Sixers, but I think better off just staying off of it. Let's roll on to Thunder Bulls, Peter.
Another one. Chicago couldn't buy a straight up or ATS win, including that game against Charlotte. Last game, they blasted Milwaukee by 20 as a small home dog. So what happened there? They started fighting. If they were on the road here, I would be like, don't worry about it. OKC minus 19, no problem. But they're at home. Getting 11 was the first line I saw. I haven't seen where it's moved. Of course, OKC rolling ATS, but now off of 2 ATS losses, although they were a little close, but still ATS losses. So is Chicago going to come in here and fight like they did in the second half of their last game? Maybe they will. I don't know. Are they going to D up? I don't know. I was thinking maybe OKC team total over, maybe OKC first half in a money line parlay. This is another tough one. It's tougher because Chicago's at home, right?
But it's their last game of a 7-game homestand.
Yeah. So you're saying that means they're going to fight or not? Or not?
No, they hit the road. They felt so good getting the wage detective on the Sixers plus 8. They felt so good on that big comeback. I mean, you're right. It's nuts. Spurs are 11-0 in February. Bulls are 0-11 in February. Spurs are 0-1 in March. Bulls are 1-0 in March. Thunder coming off the 187 win at Dallas. I just, with the Thunder right now, again, like you talk about teams caring and being accountable.
Chicago cared in the second half of that last game. The question is why?
Why? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then here we also, of course, have Shea out. So Hartenstein out. Ajay Mitchell out, who's been so good this year. Jalen Williams out, the forward. So, it's Wallace, Joe, Dort, Holmgren, and the other Jalen. Chet's going to just dominate. Buzelis and Yabusele. I mean, anybody with like height and bigs are going to smash and grab. Dougie White says those OKC backups are going to play like it's the finals. Chris Warren passing on this spot. Justin Wallace, 15-plus points in his pocket. Eldorado, Custodians, is under 91 on Tuesdays. Also 91 first game of a back-to-back. That is a good point, the first game of a back-to-back, because this sets us up. So the Thunder are at New York tomorrow night, Madison Square Garden. I mean, that's another reason to fade the Knicks. And then, another reason to fade the Knicks. That makes God, these are very exciting. This is a fun card. This is a card that we can make money off of. Well, the only thing, let's just see what's going on with the total here for this one. We have, now it's always nerve-wracking, betting unders here with the Bulls involved and their lack of intensity defensively. But this is the system bet here that it's the best system bet I've found in all basketball in all my years of doing it. So we have the double-digit favorite on the first leg of a back-to-back. So we bet the under. And if the game is cruising over, a full unit on the under at halftime or with like 2 minutes left in the second quarter, depending on how the game is going. Yeah, I think there's a chance that the Thunder are looking ahead. And I think that's why this line has gone from 11 to 10, 11.5 to 10. I do not want the Bulls on the final game of a homestand, but I will be on the full game under, double-digit favorite. And then, again, and this is so crucial, if they're going way over in the first half, you do a full unit on the full game under. That hasn't lost yet this year. Not once. The lot when it's soaring over. So I've lost the pre-flop bet. I have a positive ROI on this overall, but then I come in and cash the live bet. So the only way that you can't bet the live bet at halftime is if the game is right on line for what the under is. You can't bet it, or if it goes way under in the first half, then you can't bet it. So I'm going to be on the full game under here in this one, and I don't want the Thunder first half back to back. And in fact, I do kind of like the Bulls here, but I don't like backing teams on the final game of a homestand. And they play again right away. They get tomorrow off and then they play right away. So perfect. I'm on the full game under. That's it for me here. Let's roll on to Grizz Timberwolves. Are you going to be moving on this one, Pete?
Which one?
This Thunder Bulls?
No. Although I might tail what you said. That's
it is the. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I've got so many of my friends hammering it too with me all the time. I get messages whenever situations like that on the weekend when they seemingly have no action. But it's just, and we've had in the last month we've had the double-digit favorite score 10 points in the fourth quarter and still cover. They're in these situations. They're almost always 40-point fourth quarters. So and this total has just gone up. So the sharp action was bringing it down. It's just gone up. This is perfect time to move on the under and Thunder Bulls for me. Let's roll on to Grizzlies Timberwolves.
All right, Grizz, Minnesota, huge favorite here. Tie total 238. Memphis off of two impressive straight up and margin ATS wins start their road trip. That is the last one of their road trip, and then they play at home tomorrow. Minnesota back home after beating Denver, right? As a small road dog, and Minnesota winning straight up, but not necessarily covering. Over the past 7 games, 6-1 straight up, 3-4 ATS. I'm not sure here. Maybe a lean to the under. The question is, did Memphis shoot their load for those first 2 games, or are they going to come back and do it again?
Yeah, the Timberwolves have been very dicey, double-digit favorites here, but that was an impressive road trip. It started with that win at Portland. Then I believe that was on our show last Tuesday, where I was very fortunate to cash the double result with Timberwolves because the first half didn't cover and the full game didn't cover, but the double result cashed, which is rare. And then they completely shut down the Clippers, and then they beat Denver. Very likely feeling good about themselves. The Grizzlies are putting out effort. Speaking of mistakes that were made, I was on Dallas against the Grizzlies, which was just horrific here. Von Polo is on the Grizzlies. This is a healthy Timberwolves team, all in, everybody in. Not all in, like they care about this game, but everybody healthy. Then you have tons of injuries here for the Grizzlies. The real issue is that you have Coward, Aldama, and Jerome all questionable. And I would guess that Cedric Coward would be the one that you'd really want to have here in the lineup. I don't know why he would return for the 7 straight games with the right knee injury. Usually it's not road games that these guys return for. And he's just, he's a bucket maker. You have Ty Jerome here, 3 straight games. So he was doubtful last game, so it's a little better that he's, just questionable. And then Aldama is so important with all the injuries to bigs here. Right knee injury management. He's been out for 10 games. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're implying that one of these 3 guys will be back, but I find it difficult to believe that's the case. 14.5 point spread. Line's not moving at all because the Grizzlies are out there playing with heart. That's a 14.5 no movement. 58% of tickets, 60% of cash on Memphis. So Memphis is a public road dog. Doug White says, don't think the Wolves give a shit. Yeah, sleepy spot for Wolves. Yeah, look, I get all that, but the public road dog here is just it's not appealing. You have a public road dog that's on the first half of a back-to-back with travel, playing their 3rd game in 4 nights, having won 2 straight. I think that your fears about Minnesota not carrying are fine. But that, to me, doesn't mean that a bet should be made on the Grizzlies. I mean, the problem is you just can't always trust Minnesota to care. But God, this should be a spot where they just fucking annihilate. They've won 6 of their last 7. I mean, they beat Atlanta at home by 22 as part of this win streak. They beat Portland at home by 24, Dallas at home by 11. Then they lost to the Sixers by, margin, which was insane, by 27 points. They come back here after a short trip. Maybe the line's right around where you want it to be. Chris says, with all that information, this should be a Minnesota spot. Yeah, it should be, but you know what? The Grizzlies have been playing with effort. And this is like a scheduled loss for them. The next spot on the board here is the question is, are they even trying to win games at this point? But they got Portland at home. I guess slight lean towards Minnesota, but I think there's real legitimacy to the team coming back from a 3-game road trip that was over the course of like a week, and then having to care being a 14-point favorite, the line not moving. This got to be a pass for me. Let's roll into Pelicans, Lakers, and don't forget, a little bit earlier, if you weren't with us for the entire show, but Dutch Boy Fresh arrived, and he's got action on this game. Dutch Boy Fresh gave us the Pelicanos plus 8.5 at -102. I believe that was the vig. I'll make sure that I have it here. Sky says, how does this game not go over? Last 2 meetings this year, 245 and 265. I respect that, Sky. I think there's a ton of legitimacy to that, to there no defense being played. But these high totals concern me. Let me just quickly touch on that total, because I could see that with no care. 237, it has dropped a point. Did go up initially, I guess, because of those 2 other games. Let's set the table here, Pete. We have our third to last game on today's show.
If Dutch Boy Fresh says the Pels are going to bounce back, then I trust him, because they have been rolling and now they're off a 20-point loss to the Clippers. And, Lakers had been slumping ATS, and now they're off of 2 very impressive high-scoring margin, straight up, and margin ATS wins. So, did the Lakers suddenly turn a corner, or they just had two impressive games that don't indicate what they're likely to do here? The Pels are rolling. Bad one last time out, and maybe that was a blip. This kind of game in the NBA, if you follow it closely, you know what's going to happen, or you have a good read on it. I have no clue, but if Dutch Boy Fresh says the Pels are the play, they probably are.
Well, first off, and I missed it, but I have another angle, and Pete knows that this is not my style of gambling at all. But anytime the line moves 7 points, 7.5 is my number really, but 7 points towards the over, I don't believe the models are wrong, and I bet the under. And the ROI is very, very good. Here it just dropped a half point, so I lost that opportunity. It might get back to it. So again, if this gets back to 243, I'm not going to pay for it either. But if it gets back to 243, I'll move on the under here. We have the 8.5 here. Justin McKelvey got as well. This one opened at 10, lasted for 21 minutes to 9. Now an 8.5. When we get to the cash flow, we have 60% of tickets, 79% of cash on the Lakers. You have to hope that the Pelicanos weren't partying too hard this weekend. That they didn't party Saturday night because they were playing. They played at Utah. Then they come play the Clippers. That was a terrible spot for them. They lose by 20. Fierce goes for 28. Then they got Monday off in LA. You can still find a club in LA on a Monday, but they're not as jamming. And then Tuesday, they face the Lakers. And it's not like they go home after this. Sacramento on Thursday. And then Phoenix on Friday. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights and 4th game in 6 nights with constant travel until they got to LA, which makes it a little easier. Shit. Lafayette's now 5.5. I should just bet that during the show. So I agree that the Pelicans are clearly the sharp action. And I guess you can take a little bit away from the 3rd and 4 nights, 4 and 6 nights, because they've just been sitting in LA and they had yesterday off. Zion is questionable. I imagine this move is saying that he's going to be available. He was dealing with a right ankle sprain here, so he didn't play in the last game. So I think you'd want to know if Zion's going to play. But this is a healthy Lakers squad. I think everybody's on the right track here. I think you guys are on the right track here. I just want to know that Zion is in. I imagine that this line's telling us that he's in. But I'm still going to wait to know. This is a spot where he'll step up, in LA playing the Lake Show. So I just need to wait and find out if Zion is in. Not that I'm a fan of the guy, but if he's in, I think that helps. I think the guys on the Pelicanos are right here. W. White says Lakers are great at beating up bad teams this year. Yeah, no, I hear that too. I just not sure why the Lakers would necessarily turn it on here for this one. I mean, as Pete said, they just come off, 2 massive victories, feeling good about themselves. They have to leave tomorrow for a 1 game in Denver, first of a back-to-back. Then they get a legit homestand. Okay, I'm interested in the Pelicans. Also, if this gets to 243, a flat, legit 243, especially 243.5, I'm going to move on the under. And I guess that total climbing is also saying that Zion's going to be in, but we'll figure out all this stuff. Let's break down anything for you here in this one, Pete?
No. Although I trust Dutch Boy Fresh. Now I know what the side is, I think, but I'm not going to make an official pick for me.
Well, let's talk about our final spot here on the board, Peter Loshak. Our final spot. I know you are tight for time.
No, it's good. I'm doing it while we're doing it. It's okay. It's okay. Just a little bit. Yeah. And I'll add a few college hoops and NBA things to my official slate if I can at the end. But all right, so here you go. Phoenix had been terrible ATS, then got a close win as a 5.5-point dog against the Lakers in the last game. But before that, they've been losing most games. ATS, Sacramento back home after a 5-game trip, right? They got blown out to the Lakers, but they had covered 3 or 4 before that. And now you got Phoenix as a double-digit road favorite. So, man, again, this surprised me. Is Phoenix right now that much better than Sacramento? Maybe they are.
God, I don't know how. Yeah, they are. But you need accountability, and maybe you'll get it here. The Kings actually showed a little bit of effort on this road trip.
Of course.
They had that massive losing streak going into it. Then they win 2 of the 3 games on the trip. They showed effort.
One game they get blown out. Now they're a double-digit home dog. I don't know.
God, it's just not good for your health to bet on the Sacramento Kings. But it's just Murray and Cardwell who are out. So Westbrook, Clifford, DeRozan, Achua, and Reynaud. And then, Brooks out, Goodwin out. So Booker, Green, Allen, Royce O'Neal, and Mark Williams here for the Suns. I mean, it does feel like too many points. But that was a long trip that they returned from. It wasn't like a long flight or anything because they finished it with that Lakers game. They fly home yesterday, and then they immediately have to play the Suns to start a 5-game homestand. And then the question is, will the Suns, have accountability here? That's always what you have to ask yourself when you play the worst team in the league: is the favorite going to have accountability here? They're coming off beating the Lakers. They've been off for a week. That's not easy to be off for that long. And then play the worst team in the league. Not fully a week, but they haven't played since Thursday. And they only head out for 1 road game, which is always tricky. 1 road game, and then they come right back home. I think the line will tell us the most. And this opened up at 10. There is 9.5, but it's opened up at 10. Opened up at 10.5. Now it's a 10. Juice towards Sacramento. And then when we get to the total for this one here, we have a 223. So it's dropped 2.5 points. And then when we get to the cash flow, I think the ever important cash flow, 58 and 54 on Sacramento, and a slight move towards them. Phoenix has been off for a long time. So I don't know if you're going to get accountability from them. But I still don't want to bet the Kings. They did show some more heart on this trip. I don't know. I mean, WY says the Kings are an atrocity of epic proportions. I mean, do they get a little bit of comfort here after that trip? You know that this is the group they're going to move forward with. This one is tough. Nutflush asked my number for Westbrook PRA here, and I will get it. But I guess if someone gave me a free bet, I would bet on the Kings. But to actually put my money down on the line, I mean, is this one-way action for you on the Kings, Pete?
What do you mean by one-way action?
Is that you're thinking I might bet the Kings or stay off?
No, I'm definitely staying. I'm definitely staying off.
Yeah, the Kings are starting to. Here, the PRA here for our Nut Flush Allen on Rusty Westbrook is. Oh, they're not giving me one here. Wow, they're not giving me. I'd have to go over to 365 for it, which I will do. And 9 Legacy says Sacramento Kings my best bet.
Okay.
Wow, I have some tiny bit of interest, but not enough. You know, I can't do it. I can't do it. Dougie White says they're well rested. They are, but again, you need that accountability against the worst team in the league. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. But I also think that the market's not helping. 58% of tickets, 54% of cash is on Sacramento. So a lot of people believe in Sacramento. Now the line is moving towards Sacramento, so if you're on them, you can feel okay about it. But 22.5 says Chris Mack. Thank you, my man. So Peter, this is the plan for NBA. I've got no action in NBA. Last 2 weeks have been horrible for me. Sky saying Kings back home after a long trip, Suns or nothing. Wham Bam says Public Blues. Wham, are you coming?
Hell yeah.
Is Wham coming though? I didn't think Wham could make it. Oh, Wham, tell me you're coming, man. Change the game here. Oh, Wham, tell me you're coming, man. So for me, it's Hornets, Pistons, Magic, Raptors. And the Raptors, I think that it is worth more than one unit. The question is, the Knicks have the Thunder on deck. I think that, as I said, that my confidence in the Raptors will go down as the game goes on. Then I don't know if I can get to the Sixers. The full game under in Thunder, Bulls. I'm off Grizzlies, Timberwolves. I have some interest in the Pelicans. I want to know about Zion. And if this gets back to a flat 243, I'll bet the under. And then I'm going to have to stay off the Suns-Kings game. But I can understand either side of the puzzle. Peter, your action in NBA.
Okay, let me ask one quick question. Charlotte should roll, right?
Yeah, I think everything is telling us that the Hornets like what's happening here. And their offensive efficiency over the last 20 games is the best in the NBA. And if they did it season long, it'd be the best that we've seen in the league. I don't know how we don't back them.
Is there any reason
Nutflush has given a write it down, Peter, on Westbrook PRA.
Any reason to think Dallas tests them in any meaningful way?
No. The question is, do the Hornets, if the Hornets are up 18 in the fourth quarter,
right,
to start the fourth quarter, do they still cover?
Right.
And they could just let go. I
gotcha. All right, so here we go. You ready, Jim? I'm going to add some stuff NBA. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so I got Nets team total under 106.5 minus 110. I found that, right? Raptors first half plus 1.5 minus 109. I'm going to take Spurs and Philly first half over 119 minus 113. Okay.
Okay, wait just a second. Let me get this back here and cut this out here. I wonder if. Okay, here we go. Okay, what was the over?
119 minus 113. Spurs Philly.
Spurs Philly. So that's first half over 119.
Yeah, minus 113. Yeah.
Okay, you're in.
Then I am going to take Orlando first half minus 9.5 minus 108.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
And then
Magic first half minus 9.5.
Minus 9.5 minus 108.
Okay.
I will take Detroit Money line minus 141. I'm not going to take the 2.5. I'll take the money line minus 141. All right.
Ooh, I like it.
And then check this out. How does it lose? Charlotte first half money line, Orlando first half money line, Miami first half money line minus 118.
Okay. Sorry, can you give me the parlay?
Charlotte first half money line, Orlando first half money line, Miami first half money line minus 118. How does it lose? And if by some miracle it loses, all right, I lose 1.2 units. Happened before, it'll happen again.
Thank you, One Cross. Yeah, I hope that's getting better. I wasn't going to miss this with what Peter and I have done the first 2 weeks back together here. This is our 3rd show back in business, and God, I had the number on somewhere else, but we're 37-19, up 16.71 units combined through 2 shows. Rob Free, we capped the game and we didn't get to an answer. So going back to it, we capped that game. Who are you on? Because I had initially wanted Boise State, but I couldn't fully get there. And then, sorry, let me go over here. Charlotte at Boston tomorrow. So I don't know why didn't I pick that up? Did we talk about that here with the, because that is let me just go back. Sorry, Peter, just 1 second here. The Charlotte Boston means I need to be on the under in this one. So we have 2 of the double digits on the first leg, 2 double-digit favorites on the first. Why did God, thank you for mentioning that. Is that Sky? Yeah, thank you, Sky. So that means that the Hornets full game is much less appealing than the Charlotte Hornets first half to me. Because in the fourth quarter is the situation, like we just saw was it the Celtics? They still covered, but they scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. This was like 2 weeks ago. So now that changes things. That means that Charlotte would be a first half, and that would be a full game under. So that fits the system. So there's 2 spots with that system: the Thunder, Bulls, and the Mavericks, Hornets. First half of a back-to-back, full game under, and then if it's skying over a full unit, which is not my live bet. I'd never bet full units on live bets, but it's a full unit on the live under at halftime. All right. And Peter, you said that there might be some additions in college basketball.
Yeah,
Well, you could take a second here. We'll put the bow together on the show. Thank you guys for rocking with us. If you missed off the top, and you can pop the X handle back in the chat one more time for us, Jose. Our great friend Julian Cesario having his second open heart surgery. So the first thing that the stint, or I can't explain it properly, that they put in his heart, it lasted for 25 years, and that's pretty good. But he's going to need another one, and this one has to be artificial. The last one they kind of took from other parts, and I don't understand fully, but this one's going to be artificial. He can't be at Pub 5, but he's such a great guy, and we need to show him that, just let him know that he's not alone through this surgery, and we love him. So our thoughts are with Julian Cesario here. Then action-wise, respect play of the day. UNC Wilmington first half. Stacks play day number 1. TCU Horned Frogs plus 10.5. Number 2, Edmonton Ottawa over 6.5. TJ gave us 2 bets in MLB. LA Seattle under 10.5 and Dodgers money line. Don't know if that's gone on yet. Nuke Worker gave us Georgia State -1. Peanut Bruins money line. Caps money line. Jackets money line. Sabres money line. And then I'll go with my action first. Why don't we go? Do you want to go sport for sport or everything all total, Peter?
I guess everything all total, I guess.
Okay, so I'll go first here. In the National Hockey League, I have 8 bets that I've made. Bruins money line, Pittsburgh under 6.5, Sabres -130, Ottawa Edmonton over 6.5. Those were bets I made last night. This morning, I moved on the Panthers, Capitals, Oilers, and Wild. Then additions that I'm very interested in, Irish King and others got me on, were Panthers team total over 3, the under 6.5 in Utah, Washington, possible Columbus, the under in Chicago, Winnipeg, And that's the National Hockey League. Now, if Mikael Granlund, Ryan Strome, Troy Terry are back, the line's telling us that they might be back. So I'll have interest in them. The Ducks. I'll have interest in them. Then we had Gorky give us Alabama alt spread -1.5 and +102. Vanderbilt, Nebraska money line +122. Dutch Boy Fresh gave us the Pelicans +8.5. In college basketball, I made 4 bets, but I'm adding, and it's not too many additions. Monmouth -4, Campbell -7.5, Green Bay -4, Alabama State -1.5, and then additions. Oh, Spoons is on West Virginia, Clemson, Seton Hall, Monmouth, NJIT, Colorado, and UCLA. Twisted is on Clemson, West Virginia, Cincinnati, UCLA, Wilmington, LSU, and UCF. 9 Legacies on the Kings, Brooklyn Nets, Vegas, Golden Knights, Sharks, Oklahoma, and UCLA. For my additions, I have some interest in North Carolina. I don't want to go up against Spoons and Twisted there. Troy told us that there was very small limits on UCLA money line. Von Polo is on UCLA and Cincinnati. I like both those 2 spots. I'm taking another look. Lafayette, I thought 5 gone too far. Now it's 5.5. I had my chance at 4.5. That's why I talked about it on the show. UCF, I'm interested in. Ohio, first half is a Peter look that I'm interested in. I'm still interested in UC Wilmington, but maybe I can get over it. Then that's it. That's it. Looks like I won't have a ton. And then we just talked NBA. So NBA, the plan is Charlotte first half and full game under. Detroit Pistons full game. Magic full game. Raptors first quarter, first half. But I don't know. Maybe the full game is a better use of that. I got to think about it. First quarter for sure. I have some interest in the Sixers. Peters moved on the first half over. Full game under in Oklahoma City, Chicago. And then I want to know if Zion's in, but Pelicans interest me. And if that gets up to 243, I'll be on the under. And that is my card for Tuesday, March 3rd. Peter, break down yours.
Okay, so you want to go over everything?
Whatever you prefer, you can handle it however you'd like.
NHL, I already give, and the soccer stuff I am tracking, but I won't go over that. For college basketball, I got UCF and Tennessee first half money line parlay. Ohio first half +1.5 -114. Drexel first half +5 -113. TCU first half +4.5 -106. I'm going to add Colorado, Utah under 148 -115. And I'm going to add Vanderbilt first half money line and Virginia first half money line parlay. I'll give you the odds on that in a second. And that's it for college basketball. Then in NBA, Nets team total under 106.5 -110. Raps first half +1.5 -109. Spurs Philly first half over 119 -113. Pistons money line -141. Orlando first half -9.5 -108. And then Charlotte, Orlando, Miami, first half money line parlay, which is -118. There you go.
Oh, I love it. I love it. This was a massive card. Yeah. I'll try and, when cards are this big, I'll try and cut down the college basketball in between, but we won't have much college basketball coming up. So it's my fault for having so many games when we had so many NBA and NHL. Peter, you've been incredible these first 2 weeks and carried me along with you. So that week 1, we went combined 17-11 plus 6.47 units. Week 2, we went 20-8 plus 10.24 units. And with Peter and the chat's guidance, I went 8-1 in college basketball last Tuesday. I want more of that here. Thank you to Jose on the 1s and 2s for producing the show. We love you, Jose, and all of you guys in the chat. Big Zo, The Godfather, One Cross, Res Mob, Chris Warren, AOD, Jermaine. Thank you guys. Aaron Gaza, Justin McKelvey. We had Rob Free, Bands in the House, Nut Flush, Alan Sky, Irish King, Dougie Wise, Chris Mack, 9 Legacy. Thank you guys so much. Wham Bam, 3000 Ski Profit. We had The Godfather. Thank you all so much for supporting us. Guillermo Zertucci. Thank you to all of you. Now the work is done. Get our action in. Get on the roller coaster. And let's have some fun and get this cash.
Don't we have to do that parlay thing, or we're not doing that?
Oh, you're right. We are 1-1 only because I lost both of yours hit and one of mine hit. We went 3-4, but I lost the Miami Heat money line to keep us from going 2-0 in our low bag parlay. So yes. Do you have yours planned?
No, but it's a tradition, so I'm like, we got to do this, baby.
You're right. Okay, let me go through this here.
You got one? What do you want to do? You got one?
Wow. I thought for sure I'd have one there. Are you going to do...
All right, I got mine. I got mine. All right.
Okay, let me hear yours and I'll play off of it.
It's just going to be the UCF and Tennessee first half money line parlay. My odds are minus 119. So at other books, that should be, minus 120, minus 125 or so. UCF and Tennessee first half money line parlay.
UCF and Tennessee first half money line parlay. So, God, I really haven't.
All right. Thanks so much. You mind if I jet?
No problem, Pete. Thank you for all you do, man.
Great time. Thanks, Jim. Thanks so much for bearing with me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no worries, man. No worries. Love capping with you.
See you next week, baby.
There he is, Mr. Peter Loshak. So UCF first half, Tennessee first half. I'm astonished that looking at NHL, which I thought the card was so clean, that okay. So I think I know what it is. Let me just make sure it's not egregious. Because you want to give a slam dunk, right? It's not I don't like there's these spots I really like in NHL, but I don't know if there is a slam dunk amongst. So then here, let me just feel this. I got it. I think I got it here. Then my leg, yes. Okay, so this is the parlay. We're 1-1 here. We have UCF first half money line, Tennessee first half money line, and Monmouth money line. Just the over 6.5. It's just not moved enough at this point for me. Let me just see if that line is here. Quickly go to NHL. It's just not moved enough for me. Quickly here, the over. Sorry, here we go. Totals. The over. Oh, wow. Now it's moved. Jesus, has it moved? Wow. 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 Huh. God, it's almost a 7 now. So, I guess what I would do here then is, so I add Monmouth money line. I think that's probably enough, but okay, to juice it up a little bit more, I'll add the over 6. All total over 6 in Ottawa, Edmonton. So UCF first half money line, and I bet these. Well, it's only week 3 of it, so if we get into negative units, I'll stop. But UCF first half money line, Tennessee first half money line, Monmouth money line over 6 in Ottawa, Edmonton. And I will get this here quickly. Maybe I should just post it. Here we go. I can just pop it in. It might take too long here as we're trying to put a bow on the proceedings. So here we go. Let me just pop it in here. I'll pop it in at 365. So we start with. Oh, gotta log in. Fuck. Okay. All right, here we go. So we're gonna pop this parlay in. So we have UCF money line first half. These are all first half. So UCF, Tennessee. So here we go. Come in. Sorry, this will take 1 second. I know this probably isn't the most exciting way to close shop. UCF. Okay, UCF money line minus 310. UCF first half money line. Then we have Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee's a 7 p.m. game, isn't it? Tennessee first half. What the hell is it? It's Clemson. And oh God, so many fucking games. Tennessee. Okay, I can't even find it. What time is that Tennessee game? We did talk about it on the chat. Jose, can you come in and be the voice of God? Do you know if this game is 7 p.m.?
Yes. So which game?
Tennessee. I think we talked about it. Tennessee, come on, show me your fucking face.
5 p.m. 6 p.m. I guess your time. Tennessee versus South Carolina.
Oh, you're right. It's the early game. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, so thank you, buddy. You saved me there. Okay, I was looking for 7 p.m. Okay, so we have So the UCF Tennessee first half, that's a minus 132 here, and then we're gonna go to the full game money line on Monmouth. That's at 7. So here, that's a minus 200. That gets us to a plus 164. And then we're going to go to the NHL. We're using the alt line for the over in Ottawa, Edmonton. So I go to main, get to the alternative total. Shit, it's only 5.5 and 7.5. I would have to build a 6. It's not like I'd have to put this in a different book. So if we take it down to 5.5, let's say that we take it down to 5.5, that's fine. Let's take it down to 5.5. Then that gives us a plus 270 parlay. Okay, so that's switching up a little bit. So it's over 5.5 in Ottawa, Edmonton, and that gives us a plus 270 banger. Plus 270 banger. We're 1-1. I didn't have the. I should have had that up for the spreadsheet here. Okay. Thank you guys. So again, that is. Yeah, I like it. I like it with just Monmouth, but I think that Justin's right. I think that moving it to 5.5 is comfort zone. Plus 270 still. It's not like, it still brings it up enough. If I could have got a 6, I would have. But there's a real distinct possibility of the 6 pushing anyway. So the 5.5 I kind of like. Jermaine says Avs lost 3 straight back to back. It's the issue is with the Ducks injury front. And all right, I got a ton of action to get in. Jose, thank you for all you do behind the scenes. Much love to all of you guys. AOD, Big Scott. Nice to have you back in business. On behalf of all of us on Pub Sports Radio, let's get this fucking money, man. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers.